Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. Happy Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the program. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything, but if you do, we got you covered all 3 hours to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Hey. How about that? You can email the show if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameronShow. If you follow at 979 ESPN Radio, you can see the show periscoped. On YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. Did I mention the WTSM app? Free. So many ways, so many wonderful ways to keep up with the program. I don't know why I just now noticed this. I was reading through a lot of the headlines of the day, of course, and just taking note as we get set to go into the weekend with a little series up at Fenway Park. That's not what I just noticed. I knew that. But as I was perusing.
Yeah, one-off tomorrow.
It's just a one?
It's just a one-off.
I thought it was three.
No.
That'd have been crazy.
They don't want us tearing up their turf for three games.
That's true. The one-off. Sorry about that. The others are at BC Stadium. But anyhow, that's really neat. And what a cool opportunity. And I'm happy for my friend, Eric Llewellyn, who'll get to broadcast that game. How cool is that for him?
From the press box where we were.
Where we were, that's right.
We went by the Fenway press box when we got the VIP tour.
Yeah, that's cool. What I didn't notice was this, and then I got disappointed because I clicked on it and went, oh, how about that? Oh, that's 10 years from now. Sweet Jesus. Alabama and Notre Dame scheduled a home and home. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah, 2028.
Will Nick Saban be the coach of Alabama and still winning national titles in 10 years when they actually play that thing?
Well, first of all, let me just say this. I applaud the fact that it is a true home and home. They're playing in Tuscaloosa and they're playing in South Bend. So they're playing in the stadiums, as it should be.
Now, this is interesting because you have different people calling the shots at Florida State for these types of contracts to be signed. We know that Florida State is interested in playing the preseason kickoff games in Atlanta, Orlando, wherever.
To get paid.
To get paid. However, you could suggest perhaps that the former head coach didn't like to do home and homes with big-time teams. Maybe that changes under Willie Taggart.
Well, you know, I hadn't thought about it, Tom, until you just mentioned it. And then I started thinking, as you were mentioning it, that the Boise State Broncos are being played in the year 2019 at Everbank Field in Jacksonville, Florida, unfortunately. Is that 2020 game, which is now just 2 years away?
Man, it's around the corner.
Do you remember how long I've been talking about this? Good Lord. It goes back to when you were like a freshman in college. So the 2020 matchup, two of the first 3 games of the season are this. West Virginia in Atlanta, to be announced the following week, and Albertson Stadium, which always gives me cause to chuckle, in Boise. It has still not been moved. It is still scheduled for 2020 at Boise, Albertson Stadium, Boise, Idaho. My God, I never thought we'd get this far. It's 2018, Tom Lang. It is 2018, and in 2020, we're playing Boise State in Boise, and they still have not announced that that's changing. Should I cling to that hope that it's going to happen?
Well, it does seem like this staff does embrace the west part of the country a little bit more. I know it's the West Coast that they really do, not Idaho per se, but I don't know that they will be as averse to this idea as Jimbo was. He didn't like it. They wanted to reschedule it. They wanted to do away with it.
Yeah, well, screw him. He was wrong.
Well, think about it. He and the late Monk Bonasort were the two that really talked a lot about scheduling, and they would go back and forth. They didn't always agree on these things.
No, Monk was in my camp. Monk agreed that we needed to be, playing these games in others' stadiums.
Right.
Yeah.
It included also the neutral site games, which Jimbo did not like to play right out the gate, which I can kind of understand. You really want to do that in game one. But two things. If the playoff expands to 8 teams, that matters less.
Even as it stands now, it matters less.
And number two, Clemson's doing it all the damn time. Alabama does it. I mean, big name. Auburn does it.
When your program is in a good place and you're recruiting well and you're on stable footing, yes, it is still quite the undertaking. The one who seems to survive it most frequently with a win is indeed Alabama. Everybody else has suffered a loss and been on the wrong end of these big-time matchups. But Many have not shied away from it.
Georgia signed with Notre Dame?
Yeah, no, it's fun, and it's great for fans. It's better for fans when you're playing the game that's a non-neutral site game. I hate the trip to Atlanta. Well, no, sorry, that's phrasing it wrong. I don't hate the trip to Atlanta or hate the trip to Dallas or whatever it might be, okay? I just like it less than I do if we're playing an actual game on in their home stadium. I want to see their stadium, and I want them to come see ours. I loved the Oklahoma home and home that we did. That was simply spectacular. Going out to Norman and being a part of that. And we lost both games. But I thoroughly enjoyed that, seeing OU at Doak Campbell Stadium and being in Norman for that game. Just in my youth, so many times that was the thing you got excited about. Going to Ann Arbor to see Michigan. Going to play Notre Dame in South Bend.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go down the list. We played we played Southern Cal, USC at USC. I walked into Doak Campbell Stadium, sat right on the 50, and watched USC run out of that tunnel.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Well, and if we're embracing tradition, right, that's a tradition of this university, is that we'll go play anywhere. We'll go play anybody.
Oh, well, that's
anywhere.
what it was built on. Going to play Nebraska.
Yes.
Going to play Pitt. Going to play Syracuse. Going to play all these teams at Michigan State back in the day.
Listen, I'm not going to rewrite history and say I wasn't excited for the Florida State-Alabama game. I certainly was, but I wasn't moved by Atlanta. The idea of Atlanta, I got to get to Atlanta for that brand new stadium.
Yeah.
It could have been in the Georgia Dome. It would have been the same effect. You got to drive to Atlanta for this game.
Did I ever tell you that I so infuriated this guy by my poor mouthing that stadium?
Really?
Like I had to mute him or whatever they call it on Twitter. He got so damn mad. This guy was so in love with the prospects of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I went back and checked like some of the previous tweets prior to me kind of, poo-pooing Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And that guy had sent a lot of things building up to that game that were less about the Noles and more about a stadium. I don't know if he has an investment or something in that
Could
stadium,
be.
but he really was excited about that. Well, he had too much Atlanta pride. These guys that identify themselves with the city as being their distinguishing characteristic.
Oh, Jacksonville does that all the time.
Well,
anytime you make fun of Jacksonville, they come out
very,
of the
very
woodwork.
sensitive, right?
Yeah,
Because
geez.
they've been made fun of before. I make fun of Tampa all the time. And
Right.
Yeah.
Like, well, what about Tampa? Exactly.
Exactly. Sure.
I'm from there, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah. There's plenty of things that are great, plenty of things that are bad. That's
Anything
every
else?
City. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't get caught up in my identity being associated with a city. It's a city. But this guy loved Atlanta a little too much. So when we came back on the air not long after that, I said, stadiums. For all the talk of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and they prattled on for days. Everybody, oh, it's amazing. Wait till you see this thing.
Yeah, I stayed here, and I was surprised by your reaction because it looked cool.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah.
I've been to tons of stadiums that are a lot better. There's nothing about it that you go, oh, my God. Nothing.
You'd love U.S. Bank.
Well, I'm excited to see it. Yeah. That's fine. And listen, it's just a stadium. It's not a bad stadium, but they're a lot better stadiums. Well, tons of them, in fact. But anyhow, I said that. Oh, my God. You'd have thought I absolutely went to his house and crapped on his floor. I mean, this guy
And kicked his dog.
was devastated. Devastated. And it never ended. He laugh out loud. Premier stadium in all of sports in the world. Good sir.
Trying to tell yourself it was a good investment to get that seat license with the season tickets? Is that what it is?
I don't know what it is, but it made me laugh.
I'd pay $5,000 again for my seat license before I spend $1 on season tickets. Damn it.
Alabama, Notre Dame, 2028, 2029. Sorry, I got excited. At least it's a home and home in their actual stadiums a decade from now. Okay. Make sure we go together, Tom. I may need your guidance at that age.
Oh. Man, the way my depth perception is, I don't know that you want it. Jeff, our section is only 50 feet away.
Well, we will be going to Buccaneer games come NFL season, and we should probably talk about that. We should have Lita Kemper on this. Hey, guess what? We're going to have that.
That's correct.
That's right.
Well,
JoeBucksFan.com.
As the Buccaneers radio network of Tallahassee,
Boom.
you got to.
We've got it. Yeah, let's talk about draft plans in the season and a brutal schedule. We can do all that this hour. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Industrial hoses and fittings, along with rubber and gasketing products for automotive farming and industrial needs. Capital Rubber sells fuel, air and water, steam, pressure wash, and discharge hose, just to name a few. Capital Rubber's friendly, knowledgeable staff offers more than 50 years of experience to assist you with all your needs. Call them today at 575-1811 or stop by today at 130 Progress Drive behind TCC.
Tired of your normal two-piece kit? Makita and Cornerstone are back together with a better-than-ever offer. Purchase a Makita brushless premium hammer drill and impact kit and receive your choice of a free bare tool, plus a free 6-amp-hour battery. That's a total of 3 batteries, a $150 value. Not to mention, buy any 3 Makita brushless tools and get a free starter kit, 1 tool bag, 2 5-amp-hour batteries, and 1 dual bay charger. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave or 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
Commercial lawnmowers don't have odometers, but if they did, you might be surprised to see you could be mowing thousands of miles a year. That's why Gravely zero-turn mowers are built for the long haul. So when you're mowing the equivalent of Miami through Kentucky bluegrass country, all the way to Seattle, and back again every year, you can count on your Gravely zero-turn mower to get the job done, mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Over 150 new zero turns in stock. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view inventory and pricing. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cashback and Red Tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
Up to $7,900 in cash back savings. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view selection.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
In Thomasville, Georgia.
This ad is 30 seconds long, but if you work for yourself, don't think of it as 30 seconds. Think of it as a little over 26 cents. Because if you're driving for work on a freeway at the speed limit, you'll travel around half a mile. That's worth over 26 cents in deductions come tax time. And that makes every half mile worth tracking.
You won't miss a mile with automatic mileage tracking. Visit QuickBooks.com. Smarter business tools for the world's hardest workers. QuickBooks, backing you. Over 26 cents deduction based on IRS 2017 standard mileage rates for business.
Each morning before you wake, you dream of breakfast like Mom used to make. Eggs, bacon, potatoes too. Can't wait to eat all this amazing food. Then the alarm bell rings and no one's cooking you anything. Real life is hard when your morning is hell. Have breakfast with a fried egg shell.
Get 2 naked egg tacos for just $3.49. All the breakfast you love wrapped in a fried egg shell. Only at Taco Bell. At participating stores for a limited time during breakfast hours. Prices may vary. Tax extra.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Good sign when I hear that song. Kemper, JoeBucksFan.com is going to be set to talk Tampa Bay Buccaneers football, in this case, maybe the draft, the schedule came out. I'll have more on that later as well. Yeah, let's bring him in. Lee DeKemper, JoeBucksFan.com, joins us now on the Jeff Cameron Show. Lee, it's been a while. How are you, brother?
Yeah, Jeff, it's been a while. I've been fantastic. I'm glad you're having me back. I just love chatting Bucs football with you and Tom and your listening audience, of course.
Yeah. Well, it's there's a reason right now too. There's always a reason for us, but there's actual reason in that. I mean, here we are, not far off from the draft, less than a week, and it's an intriguing draft for a lot of reasons. First of all, I know you have your contacts within the Bucs organization. I know certainly you have close ties to Jason Light. You guys have had a good working relationship, and I don't expect that he's going to share every detail of what the Bucs plan to do in the draft. I know that, but I suspect that obviously you've been able to glean something from the brass there in Tampa Bay about maybe positions that they like and some players in this draft that you think that maybe they'd like, and might one of those be an offensive lineman by the name of Quentin Nelson, because a certain talk show host is really rooting for that to happen, and I also think it's the best possible pick.
Well, I tell you what, Jeff, if I had to lay $500 down and Nelson's on the board, Nelson would be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Good.
No one in the organization has told me that, but going back to the Combine, talking to Cutter in a little private sidebar conference with Tampa Bay writers, talking to Light in the same circumstances, listening to what Light had to say, listening to what Cutter had to say, reading body language, I'm convinced they are narrowed in on Quentin Nelson. And you throw in the fact that all of a sudden a week or so ago we find out DeMar Dobson had to have knee surgery, and that was a massive surprise. Now, Ira Kaufman, a Hall of Fame voter, he writes for JoeBucksFan.com. We're proud to have him as a columnist. In his podcast roughly a month ago, DeMar Dobson told us to our face he was just cleared that day, fully cleared by the Bucs medical staff for full football activities. All of a sudden, now he's got knee surgery? So that makes me think even more that an offensive lineman will be drafted at number 7. And I think that will be Nelson. Now, the only thing that might muddy the waters there, I know the Bucs, and we know this, I don't know how many times I've talked about it, you've talked about it, edge rusher is almost impossible for this franchise to find. Yeah, they got JTT. He's not long-term. So Chubb is there. I can see them drafting Chubb. If Barkley's there, I'm just speaking personally. If Barkley was there and I'm Jason Light, I couldn't turn that pick in fast enough. But I don't think those two guys are going to be there. So I think it's going to be Quentin Nelson. I really do.
I get your affection for and desire to see Saquon Barkley in a Buccaneers uniform. I don't necessarily disagree with you. This has been, the last 2 weeks has been me kind of wrangling with these picks and wrestling back and forth in my own mind about what the Bucs need more, and the pick with Saquon Barkley brings about the chicken or the egg question, because again, he may be a transcendent running back, perhaps. It's hard to know with running backs. We've seen can't misses, and they've missed, and we've seen guys that are, thought of marginally, third or fourth round, go on to be Hall of Famers. So that's the position where that happens. But if you can't block, it doesn't really matter at all who you take at running back or who you have at running back. You're going to get beat because you can't block it up. So my concern is if you have a Saquon Barkley and you've got a middling to subpar offensive line, what real good does that do you? So if they're both available, I think I'd actually still take Nelson. Now, I know that's not the sexy pick, but I always believe you gotta improve with offensive line. My question mark with Bradley Chubb is I just don't know how dynamic he is off the edge. Bradley Chubb is a 270-pound defensive end. He's a big guy. He's great against the run. He is a disruptive force, obviously, if you look at the amount of tackles for loss. But he's a guy that when I look at him and I look at his, as they call it in the league, the get off, right, his speed off the, he doesn't seem to translate to elite, like a force to be reckoned with in that league as a 15 to sack guy. I don't see that in him. I could be wrong. I mean, it's an inexact science, but he doesn't strike me that way. And I just fear, maybe it's the history catching up to me here, I just fear like we'll take that guy and he's going to set the edge and be decent against the run. And screw that, man. We haven't had anybody getting after the quarterback since Simeon Rice.
Yes. That's true. And that's an interesting point about Chubb. His get-off isn't that quick. That's key. I mean, that's critical. With that in your hands, that's critical in the NFL. Critical. So that's a very interesting point. Now, if we also look at Jason Licht's history, personnel history, I know some people don't want to, for obvious reasons, but Jason is the kind of guy, even though he may sign a free agent at position X, he'll follow that up with a draft pick. For example, he signed Brent Grimes, followed it up drafting Vernon Hargreaves. Signed Deshaun Jackson, followed it up by drafting Chris Godwin. So the fact that they went out and got Ryan Jensen, I know they moved him to center. Well, he has been a center. He's a center. To me, that doesn't preclude Licht from drafting Quentin Nelson, for example, or if he so chooses, plays down and gets Will Hernandez or Isaiah Wynn. Isaiah Wynn's very intriguing to me. I'm not an SEC kind of guy. It's good football, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's they invented football. However, in the current SEC, if you can block in the SEC, you can block.
That's correct.
You can block.
Yes.
And so I'm okay with Wynn. If they want to trade down and get Wynn, I'm good with that because to me, he's demonstrated against the best defensive talent in college football, he can get the job done. So I'm good with that. And again, they went out and traded JPP. So again, it wouldn't preclude Licht from going out and getting Chubb. What the Bucs have to hope for is that 4 quarterbacks go before their numbers go, before they're on the clock. They have to hope 4 quarterbacks go. That means the Bucs are going to get one of the big 3, and I'm inclined to believe that would be Nelson.
Well, I think it's a great pick, and it really does set you up if it happens into the second round. I think you can get a running back. I mean, it is a position of need. How do they feel about Geis? How do they feel about Sony Michel, guys that might be there?
Well, I know Geis, people in the building like Geis. I know people in the building like Sonny Michel, and I know that Nick Chubb is intriguing. They've worked him out. They brought him into Tampa. So you're not going to – I rather believe, interviews at the Combine, they interview everybody. So that's overblown. However, when they send a coach, an assistant coach, when they fly an assistant coach somewhere to work a guy out and then bring him in for an interview, you're not wasting that time and money for someone you're not interested in. You're not going to do that. I mean, that's like a severe smoke screen.
Sure.
Especially when you're bringing in other running backs. And they've done that with Nick Chubb. So it's interesting. Those 3 they've brought in. So that would be interesting, I would hope. And there's a debate. You talk about chicken and the egg. There's a debate out there. Oh, you can go out and get a running back in the later rounds. Well, if you look at Bucs history, and I wrote the story this morning on JoeBucksTan.com. You look at Bucs history this decade, the only running back that ever had any kind of decent season was Doug Martin. He was a first-round pick. The rest of the picks were like 3rd, 4th, and beyond, and half the guys, you already forgot their name. Like the Joey Isofas of the world.
Man. I haven't heard that name in some time. Yeah. I haven't heard that in a while.
The immortal Danny Vitale.
Yeah. Well, how do they feel about Derwin as opposed to Minkah? Real quick on those guys.
Well, I was told this about Minkah, and I didn't really ask about safety because I didn't think they were going to go after a safety at number 7. Some would suggest that's a little bit of a reach.
I would suggest that's a bit of a reach as well.
Yeah, so I didn't really ask about safeties. A person of interest with the Bucs that I sat with, I knew I had a limited amount of time, so I wasn't going to go over like 50 or 60 players. I did go over with about 24 players with Jones. I was told that Minkah Fitzpatrick, more safety than corner, and he tries to be physical, but he's not exactly the most physical safety. And that's what I was told. It was not a knock on the guy. It just, a lot of people are thinking this guy, is Dick Butkus at safety, and I was told that's not necessarily the case. Though he tries. He's got a nose for the ball, and he's not scared of getting his face in there. So that's a good thing. That's a positive. That's a good trait. But he's not necessarily a physical guy. So that's what I heard about Minkah. I didn't ask him about Derwin James. Again, because I thought a safety at 7 was reach, and I was asking more about Fitzpatrick being can he play corner. And that's where I got the information from about Fitzpatrick. Now, we're talking about running back a little bit earlier. I can tell you this. I was talking to a Bucs offensive assistant back in January, East-West Shrine practices in St. Pete. And we were just talking about the offense. And I've always been of the belief, and so is my business partner, Steve Isbitz, that prior to this offseason, the Bucs didn't have a great offensive line, but it wasn't horrible. It wasn't Denver. It wasn't the Giants. It was adequate. And actually, they actually ran better later in the year when they had injuries, which is surprising. And so I was talking to this offensive assistant, and he looked at me and he said, offensive line was not the problem with us last year. And I said, let me guess. I said, one-dimensional. And he nodded his head. And I said, yeah, you guys were one-dimensional before the national anthem was finished. You had no running attack. So, and again, that's coming from an offensive assistant. Now, here's something I just thought of a little bit earlier this afternoon about drafting guys. And I'm not a big believer in the best available talent. And the reason why that is, let's say the quarterback is the best available talent. Well, sure as hell aren't going to draft a quarterback.
That's right.
Okay? So that's not going to happen. Or a wide receiver. That ain't going to happen. But with the news that Kendall Beckwith got into a traffic accident roughly a week ago, had to have an ankle surgery, and he looks like he's going to be out until training camp at minimum. Who knows if his ankle's shattered and if he can play again, or if he can play at the same level? I mean, that's a big question mark, big unknown. And all of a sudden, the guy's name is escaping me. The great linebacker from Georgia, if he's there.
Yeah. Rohan, what is his name?
Rohan Smith?
Yeah, that's him, yeah.
That's and I thought of that earlier this afternoon.
Is it Roquan?
I mean, the Bucs are deep at linebacker. Don't get me wrong. Now, Pat Kerwin on another NFL radio, he's of the belief. He goes, "Hey, the Bucs defense was the worst in the league last year. They're the worst. What's wrong with drafting the best available defensive player and finding a way to get him on the field?" And in theory, that's great. But then you think of Mike Smith.
I like Roquan Smith a lot, and he is a player that I talked about. Obviously, he shined in the national championship game, and you've seen him shine in the SEC. The Bucs are all okay at linebacker beyond that being a long-term injury to Beckwith, like you're describing. I would need to know the medical on that before I really thought about going that route. I have a question.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That might be very premature too. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I need to know what we're talking about there, and they certainly will know because that would inform your decision making in the draft, to say the least. Let me ask you this: the Bucs picked up Jameis's option year. Is this a fully expected move ahead of contract negotiations, or a sign that preliminary talks aren't going well?
Well, I don't think there's anything negative to come out of it, but here's a huge caveat, and this is huge. We saw the Bucs schedule. If you want to talk about that in a moment, we can. We saw the Bucs schedule. We see the first month of the season. And teams that go 0-3 to start the season have a 2% chance of the playoffs. Now, let's say, unfortunately, and by the way, the bye week is after the Bears game, which would be week 5 is the bye week. Then after that, the Bucs go on the road 3 of the next 4 games. The Bucs have another losing season. I don't think it's out of the question there's going to be a house cleaning. I'm not predicting it, but it would not be out of the question. So you bring in a new staff, new coaching staff, new general manager. I know the Glazers love James.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Go fast. Graf Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Widden Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. Local contractors know Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. They prefer Widden Glass because of their precise window glass replacement, masterful shower enclosures, and storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Widden is known for taking care of business. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
At Advance Auto Parts, we offer you the quality parts you want and knowledge you need to help get you back on the road. And we're always looking for ways to help you save. Right now, get CarQuest conventional motor oil for just $2.96 a quart. Talk about an amazing price. Plus, find great prices on CarQuest's full line of motor oil. Go to Advance or participating CarQuest Auto Parts stores to take advantage of this great offer while it lasts. Advance Auto Parts, where oil is priced like it should be.
With McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu, you can choose among favorites like a delicious McChicken for only $1. Just $1 for golden crispy chicken, mayo, and shredded lettuce all nestled between a perfectly toasted bun. So next time you find a crumpled up bill in the pocket of an old jacket, or notice the collection of loose change just chilling in your cup holder, give that change a new lease on life by turning it into a delicious McChicken. Build your meal with favorites like a $1 McChicken on McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting events? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. It's a big night of NBA playoff coverage on the family of networks at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Game 3 for the Cavaliers and Pacers. The series tied at 1. Kevin Love is expected to play for Cleveland after tweaking his left thumb in Game 2. That game also tips off a doubleheader on ESPN TV. The second game will be Celtics and Bucks in Milwaukee, with Boston leading that series 2-0. On ESPN2 at 8 Eastern, it's Game 3 for the Raptors and Wizards in Washington, with Toronto leading 2-0. Kansas sophomore center Udoka Azubuike will enter the NBA draft, but he's not hiring an agent yet. Azubuike led the country this season, shooting 77% from the floor. Others declaring for the draft today without agents: are Kentucky's Jared Vanderbilt, Michigan's Charles Matthews, Tyus Battle from Syracuse, and Maryland's Kevin Huerter. The start of the NFL draft is now less than a week away. The Browns hold the number 1 pick. The Giants have the 2nd pick. ESPN's Dan Graziano believes the team is leaning toward running back Saquon Barkley with that pick.
Barkley is I think, the favorite at this point to be their pick at number 2. I personally think they should be thinking quarterback with Eli Manning at 37 years old.
I believe you put on Twitter they'd be crazy if they
I think they'd be crazy if they don't take a quarterback. Because how often are you picking number 2? And how often are you picking number 2 in a draft that has quarterbacks at the top that are like this?
Dan Graziano on Golic and Wingo. On the baseball scoreboard, first of a day-night doubleheader in Detroit. The Tigers lead the Royals 1-0 in the 5th. A marquee pitching matchup on ESPN Plus at 10 Eastern. Max Scherzer and the Nationals against Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers. Carolina Hurricanes coach Bill Peters resigns today after 4 years on the job.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
It's a Libations Friday, which means it's time to have some more fun. I really don't even hardly have to introduce this, except to say that it's a larger part of something Tom and I find absolutely riveting and derive great joy from. You can just play the sounder, and then we'll play for you a clip that perfectly encapsulates what we're talking about with the lunacy of the mock world that goes on around draft time, in particular with what ESPN does with Mel Kiper and Todd McShay.
Yeah, quickly, it was context, the Get Up show with Mike Greenberg and Michelle and Jalen. They tried to start with a bang, so they wanted to have McShay and Kiper list their, mock draft, whatever they are, 5.0 or whatever, and then compare notes. And that's where Mike is asking a question. So if you hear Greenberg in there, that's why. Because he certainly doesn't host radio anymore.
So you're going to get that question, and then you're going to get this thing play out this way, and you can just sit back and laugh and continue to kind of point your finger and, mock the mocks.
A draft analyst for ESPN dropped him on a make-believe website page.
That's going to be the measurables that ultimately determine where Manziel goes in May. Right now, he does not belong in the top 25. If he beats Alabama again, everybody's going to say, oh, boy, move him up. No.
Your number 1. Who does Houston take?
I'm going to go with Johnny Manziel. He's going in the top 5 somewhere. Hey, what's wrong with number 1? Johnny Manziel is a magician on the field. If he eats, sleeps, and drinks football 365 days a year, to me, he can be a very good to great player in the NFL.
Draft analysis.
The bottom line is this is a back-in-the-day draft for these quarterbacks.
And Allen is the guy I've been saying all along I thought teams would talk themselves into. McShay, give me your top 6.
Well, I had to break the shackles of Papa Kiper, and I finally decided this is ridiculous. Why are we doing a mock draft when we're not proposing and projecting trades? Baker Mayfield, I think a team trades up for him. In this case, I had Miami moving up to number 6. Colts move back again, and Miami gets their quarterback in Baker Mayfield. They just can't trust Tannehill anymore. Number 2, another trade, and this one I really think has a high probability of happening because the Giants would get probably 2 1s and a 2 or 3 1s to move out of this spot. Buffalo has a lot of draft capital. They move up and get the big, strong arm guy in Josh Allen for that Buffalo weather. And then the best player at the quarterback position in the draft this year, I'm convinced of it, Sam Darnold, the number 1 overall pick to the Browns. Yes, sir.
I mean, we had a handshake agreement on this, that there were going to be no trades. This is a reckless stunt.
We never shook hands on this.
We did. Reckless stunt. I don't appreciate it because it undermines everything we're trying to do. You didn't even alert me to
I
this.
like it. You're getting actually frustrated, Papa Kiper.
I didn't have an opportunity to project trades. You didn't provide me with that opportunity.
You created these rules, big boy.
And you broke them.
Yes.
Without telling me. Does that seem fair to you?
You knew about it a couple days ago.
I had no clue.
So My favorite part of this is, A, they're engaging in crazy trade talk and even factoring in what teams are going to get and give in order to make those moves to go up. But then a faux argument ensues. They quite clearly aren't mad. He's clearly not mad. He did know it was coming. This is all so transparent, right? I mean, even the moment that Kuiper pretends to be angry, you can hear that what's-his-face is like, oh, come on, you knew 2 days ago. Like, he shattered it. He ruined it.
Yes.
By saying, well, you knew 2 days ago.
There's been a trade.
There's been a trade.
In fact, there's been 2 trades.
We've had 2 things happen in the last 2 weeks that I'm sorry, I'm just going to take credit for. I knew that the farcical nature of all this would eventually lead to routinely the moments we see play out now where so-called mock drafts and mock draft experts, and I mean, they're like mock draft experts now, not draft experts, mock draft experts, where they do their own Dungeons and Dragons fantasy thing here and have all kinds of trades and move people all around and all that stuff, and people will engage in it. That has happened. That has been talked about. And then do you remember, how long ago was it now? It might have been more than a month ago. I can't even remember. But I told you we're probably less than a year away of cheerleaders being gone, right?
Yes, actually, I heard that as a major talking point yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. That's right. I'm like, man, people just straight up steal from the Jeff Cameron Show in little old Tallahassee on the regular.
Wait for the New York Times bestseller from Rick Pitino. That was the one that's been a
that's
little while
going to happen.
making.
That was
where he's the victim.
Oh, sure. He'll turn this into a profit machine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no doubt. But yesterday, it was not on just one show. It was on multiple shows. The thought that the NFL will do away with cheerleaders because there's no way in this current climate that you can really justify what they do, which is obviously exploitation. That has always been the case. There's never been a reason for a cheerleader other than that dudes like to look at scantily clad women. We do. Heterosexual men like to look at women who are wearing next to nothing, especially if they're dancing around. But there was really no purpose for them to ever be on a sideline at any point ever.
No, just guys being dudes.
That's right.
That's all that is.
But I knew that was going away because even though, you could try to make an argument, I think even like the most sexist guy, the guy who's absolutely loves to objectify women, but that guy can't stare at you and break it down in a way that makes any sense whatsoever as to why you would ever need cheerleaders. Like he can't, you would have to really, you can do it. You can't do it. I've tried.
Because you want to save the cheerleaders.
Yeah, I've thought, what would be the argument to be made about why you would continue to have cheerleaders in the NFL other than we like to look at their ass? Other than that, there is no other reason.
I'm going to sit in my seat for the national anthem because we need cheerleaders.
Like you can't, there's nothing you can say. They serve zero purpose.
You think Pitino's book tour will come through Tallahassee? I hope he'll hit all the ACC markets.
I don't think it will, although wouldn't that be something?
He hits every market in the country because he needs to drum up support.
I would be in such a bind because the argument I have there is that we would do the interview, but do it in a way that fosters somehow 9/11 discussion or ways that foster whatever manipulation of the truth that we know he would, whatever rabbit hole we know he'd go down. Like purposely ask questions that allow him to be at his best as a spinster, right? Yes. Because that's the interview I want to do.
I got it. See, we already have a lot of imaging that has the, it almost sounds like taps, but it's American news.
Right.
And we're like, bong, and then it returns.
So we could have some sort of,
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show. We have a very special guest today.
Rick Pitino.
To talk
lost his job at Louisville. We'll call it lost his job as opposed to fire.
Right.
So code words. So he would then be, they're down. Okay, yeah. And then bam, as long as everybody was in on it and they didn't think I was being intentionally soft, like just let him go, man, because I want to see this thing in action.
Right.
It's so good. He's really good. Now, he's not at the same level as Calipari. Calipari is a genius at this stuff, but he's also a little less of a slime ball.
Right. He doesn't pull on 9/11.
Right.
You know?
He doesn't reach to 9/11. He doesn't pull the 9/11 bag of tricks out.
Rick, this qualifies as adversity in your career, but not tragedy. You've experienced that too. Please discuss.
Yeah. No, and then we would have it. That's softball, and he's ready to go. I mean, Billy Minotti Hall is coming up right now, and it's,
This is Coach Rick Pitino. I can't wait to visit Tallahassee for my book tour.
My favorite part would be when he got choked up, where he invoked the tears. He did what because he would, if you left him something that open-ended, he would have time to muster, and he would already know, like, oh, here's my 9/11 in. I got my 9/11 in. Early in the interview, they've given me my 9/11 in. So now he's got to get in the mode. He's got to get into character and somehow start talking about 9/11 and then have to stop. Like there'd be a long pause. I know, Rick.
Take your time, Rick.
Take your time. This is a tough topic for all of us.
It may be several minutes. This is difficult.
He could and then he would have to occasionally, just to let you know he was still there. Sorry. Yes! Because that's the interview we're doing. We're not doing the series.
I still drive by the hole.
Oh, Jesus. Rick, let's on to basketball. No, we're going to do that if that happens. But I'm not going to do the interview where we go, look, you're a piece of garbage, and then tell him the reasons why. I'm not doing that interview. I'm doing this one because I want to see him at his best.
I'll go get an autograph from him at the book signing. I'll wear my bright orange Mets jacket, my bullpen jacket.
A Knicks cap. Because, you got to wear the Knicks cap.
Coach! Yeah. Coach!
Just repeatedly yelling, Coach. Coach is my favorite. You got to do that.
How you doing, Coach?
Coach.
It's great to see you, man. Welcome to Tally.
Coach. Coach, can we...
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Variety of different angling adventures thanks to Unspoiled Back County Islands and Crystal Clear Flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Capital Rubber and Industrial Supply invites you to come on by and see them. A locally owned and operated company proudly serving the Tallahassee area since 1987, Capital Rubber specializes in hydraulic hose, fitting and adapters, supply industrial hoses and fittings, along with rubber and gasketing products for automotive farming and industrial needs. Capital Rubber sells fuel, air and water, steam, pressure wash, and discharge hose, just to name a few. Capital Rubber's friendly, knowledgeable staff offers more than 50 years of experience to assist you with all your needs. Call them today at 575-1811 or stop by today at 130 Progress Drive behind TCC.
I'm Michael Blank, an attorney with the Personal Injury Law Office of Jose R. Fernandez. If you get into an accident, call 1-855-HOSE-305. That's 1-855-HOSE-305. We don't get paid until you do. Se habla español. Offices Tallahassee and Miami.
Commercial lawnmowers don't have odometers, but if they did, you might be surprised to see you could be mowing thousands of miles a year. That's why Gravely zero-turn mowers are built for the long haul. So when you're mowing the equivalent of Miami through Kentucky bluegrass country, all the way to Seattle, and back again every year, you can count on your Gravely zero-turn mower to get the job done, mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Over 150 new zero turns in stock. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view inventory and pricing. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and red tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
Up to $7,900 in cash back savings. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view selection.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
In Thomasville, Georgia.
Tired of your normal two-piece kit? Makita and Cornerstone are back together with a better-than-ever offer. Purchase a Makita brushless premium hammer drill and impact kit and receive your choice of a free bare tool, plus a free 6-amp-hour battery. That's a total of 3 batteries, a $150 value. Not to mention, buy any 3 Makita brushless tools and get a free starter kit, 1 tool bag, 2 5-amp-hour batteries, and 1 dual-bay charger. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave or 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves update.
Thursday night at SunTrust Park, the Braves downed the Mets by a score of 12-4 in Game 1 of a 4-game weekend series. The Atlanta offense jumped on Matt Harvey for 3 in the first on a Freddie Freeman sac fly and 2-run homer from Kurt Suzuki. Then in the third, the Braves added on as Nick Markakis drove in a run with an RBI single and Preston Tucker doubled home 2 more. Matt Whistler allowed just 1 run on 2 hits with no walks and 8 strikeouts over 7 innings pitched. New York got a run in the 5th on a solo homer from Todd Frazier, but the Braves would break things wide open with a 4-run 7th, capped off by a bases-clearing 3-run double from Preston Tucker. Afterwards, Tucker said he hoped a win like this could have a carryover effect.
You know, when everyone's swinging, it's fun to watch, and, you know, I enjoy every second of it, and I think, you know, we get a tough matchup tomorrow, so I think that's we got a good feeling going into that.
Braves and Mets will continue their 4-game series coming up tonight as Sean Newcomb squares off against Noah Syndergaard. Hear the call live from SunTrust Park right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern. With the Braves, I'm Kevin McAlpin for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. It's a big night of NBA playoff coverage on the family of networks at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Game 3 for the Cavaliers and Pacers. The series tied at 1. Kevin Love is expected to play for Cleveland after tweaking his left thumb in Game 2. That game also tips off a doubleheader on ESPN TV. The second game will be Celtics and Bucks in Milwaukee, with Boston leading that series 2-0. On ESPN2 at 8 Eastern, it's Game 3 for the Raptors and Wizards in Washington, with Toronto leading 2-0. Kansas sophomore center Udoka Azubuike will enter the NBA draft, but he's not hiring an agent yet. Azubuike led the country this season, shooting 77% from the floor. Others declaring for the draft today without agents are Kentucky's Jared Vanderbilt, Michigan's Charles Matthews, Tyus Battle from Syracuse, and Maryland's Kevin Huerter. The start of the NFL draft is now less than a week away. The Browns hold the number 1 pick. The Giants have the 2nd pick. ESPN's Dan Graziano believes the team is leaning toward running back Saquon Barkley with that pick.
Barkley is I think, the favorite at this point to be their pick at number 2. I personally think they should be thinking quarterback with Eli Manning at 37 years old.
I believe you put on Twitter they'd be crazy if they didn't
I think they'd be crazy if they don't take a quarterback. Because how often are you picking number 2? And how often are you picking number 2 in a draft that has quarterbacks at the top that are like this?
Dan Graziano on Golic and Wingo. On the baseball scoreboard, first of a day-night doubleheader in Detroit. The Tigers lead the Royals 1-0 in the 5th. A marquee pitching matchup on ESPN Plus at 10 Eastern. Max Scherzer and the Nationals against Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers. Carolina Hurricanes coach Bill Peters resigns today after 4 years on the job.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello, Libations Friday. Great to see you. Woohoo! I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming, free always. Don't miss anything. All 3 hours going to be posted on iTunes and in our own audio vault if you do miss something. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. It's also the WTSM app. Also on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. You know, we talked about it a lot over the last 5 or 6 years. Off and on, we've talked about it a lot. But in reading about the draft and thinking about the draft and thinking about teams and players in Florida State specifically, you know, I was reading a story about Auden Tate and where he'll be drafted, if he'll be drafted and when and all that. And, of course, he will be drafted. But I did see where the Tampa Bay Times wrote an article about when Wharton High School star Auden Tate hears his name called sometime next week, he'll be joining a surprisingly small group. And I knew where that story was going. Florida State receivers drafted into the NFL. And we talk about changes here and what's going to happen in recruiting and what's going to happen with the new offense and the new defense and all of that. I'll tell you something I'd like to see happen. I'd like to see a crop of linebackers that can play. Let's get that happening sooner rather than later. Of course, you all know my deep concerns regarding the offensive line and the need to upgrade the talent at that position. I think Greg Frey will do a great job coaching them, but we got to get some players in here who can really play. And then finally, good Lord, man. It'd be nice to know routinely in the state of Florida that you've got some receivers that are going to be well thought of by the NFL. The numbers, the paltry numbers of Florida State receivers that have gone into the NFL, despite a lot of offensive success here in the Jimbo Fisher era, it's really staggering. In the last decade, only 2 Florida State receivers have been drafted. 2! Sweet Jesus. Rashad Green went in the freaking 5th round in 2015, so he barely got in. And then obviously Kelvin Benjamin, which was a freak. They would have just taken him if he stood there. Because look at him. He went in 2014. Oklahoma has had 10. Clemson, a rival, 6.
A lot of good ones, too.
Florida, sorry ass, hadn't had an offense in years, 6.
Wow. 6.
Miami, laughing stock of the state for a very long time, 5. By the way, Georgia Tech had double the amount of receivers. Georgia Tech running a triple option, or whatever the hell they call that thing.
It's not an option football. It's the same thing as the air raid, except we move the slot receivers behind the formation.
That's exactly right.
And the quarterback under center.
But that's, yeah, there it is. Kirk Herbstreit, when asked about it, said, well, that's a bit of an anomaly. No.
Not for 10 years.
No, it's not an anomaly. When it's going on for more than a decade, it's not an anomaly. The Noles.
What? How's that an anomaly?
I don't know.
That's the worst word you could use in that situation.
I know.
Sir.
Well, I think he just didn't want to poor mouth, schools that he covers, I guess. He's very particular about that, by the way. He won't ever offer up criticism of a coach if he doesn't have to. That's my one thing with Kirk Herbstreit that bothers me. Is, man, damn well Florida State lost 6 games last year, and Jimbo was a wreck these last 3 years, and he was on Jimbo's side because Jimbo would call him.
Well, they bonded over the dad thing, too.
I guess.
Well, no, every time he would talk about Jimbo during the Jameis situation or others that we had, he'd say, well, Jimbo gets it. It's like a father to a son. Whatever that was, they bonded over that talking point.
But it would be so easy to say, well, all of that can be true. You can't lose 6 games at Florida State and not be doing a poor job. You can't. So, that's fine. You love your kid. I love my kid. That's wonderful. Listen, here's the deal. You lost 6 games, dude.
Yeah, that's like Golick, too, That's stupid. Unless, of course, he was thinking, no, man, just
say it.
You're correct.
Just say it.
No hedge needed.
50 schools had more receivers drafted from 2008 through 2017 than FSU. 50. Oregon State had more receivers drafted than Florida State. Appalachian State had more receivers drafted than Florida State in that time. Kansas.
Oh, now them's fighting words.
Kansas, who beat Charlie Strong. Kansas had more receivers drafted than Florida State did.
They were coached by the Rhinestone Belt.
That's right. Old fatty, fat. That belt hanging on for dear life. A cooler that collapsed under the weight of not only that belly, but expectations. LSU had 9.
Yeah, they always get receivers. It's the freaking weirdest thing.
Southern Cal, 8. Of course, they always have receivers too. They do again this year. That's a great group. One of their wide receivers and a burgeoning star that happens to be Pittman's
oh, really?
son.
Michael Pittman's kid?
Yeah.
All right. There's a lot of ways you could go with that, but
Michael Pittman's kid's a star receiver at Southern Cal.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Pittman was going to guarantee that happened.
Yes.
He would beat that kid senseless if he didn't catch a football.
Just put him between his bicep and his forearm and squeeze his head.
Just my guess, right? So I guess the factor here would be the amount of guys signed by Florida State that, you look at Matt Baker was writing a story. I know he's not everybody's favorite, but I'm going to use something he wrote to help make my point. So I got to give him credit. Sorry, guys. But you sign a 4-star prospect like Tate in 2015. It certainly helps to sign guys of that caliber because then you can do it. 5 of the 6 receivers drafted from Clemson were 4 or 5-star prospects. In fact, the crux of where we're going to go here is that at the end of the day, when you look at these receivers, whether it's Clemson or Oregon State or LSU at 9 or Appalachian, they were signing 4 and 5-star stars to come play. That translates. That typically does. The more of those you sign, the better off you are. And we weren't. We really weren't. We did not have an overabundance of those caliber of receivers.
Okay, so who are the candidates from our roster? About everybody right now? Sometimes I think we look at the garnet gold colored perspective of things and we say, well, this guy's going to be an NFL star. But I think objectively speaking, Keith Gavin gets lost in the shuffle a little bit this offseason because we're enamored by Terry.
I need him to play well. He just hasn't played well.
Well, but he was domed up, and that's what lethal simplicity is all about. And it should get him to a position where he can just play freely, yes, because that talent should translate to the next level.
I'd like to believe that. I may have just fallen in love with a body type. We'll see. I'm going to reserve judgment.
Alabama put him on a helicopter during a recruiting visit. They thought enough of him.
No, I know, but we could all be wrong. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I need him to play well. He just hasn't played well. He's really a non-factor. And there's no way to look like that. There's no way to look like that and be a non-factor. And so I'm going to count on the fact that you're right. He was domed up. And that there were other issues, and that now he'll be free to just play. I'm hoping so. I know this. No matter if he does or doesn't, he is greatly surpassed by the likes of Tamron Terry. It's not Terry is a surefire star.
Yeah, Gavin needs to be a little bit tougher in traffic. That's one complaint over the last year. But remember what Willie said, I don't think it just applied to the defense. When he's talking about now players are thinking out there and they're not sure what to do. You stop talking so much. You don't have to talk too much to these guys. Again, in the helicopter, not on the helicopter, that would have been unsafe of Alabama to do. But if they think enough to tell him that he's going to be Julio, I'm not saying that he's going to go top 15 like Julio would, but he's going to be a combine freak. So if you have him and Terry and then either Nooney or DJ Matthews, I would think we have a chance to have 3 drafted the next 4 or 5 years, or am I putting too much stock in what DJ or Nooney can be?
Well, both really slight. Nooney's thick, but he's a small receiver, but he's a talent. He should put up huge numbers and have an opportunity to certainly get drafted. I agree with you there. DJ Matthews is, the human joystick. He's fun to watch.
Useful.
He's going to be a joy to watch.
He's 150 pounds soaking wet right now.
That is the problem. So, his talent would have him there, but he's going to have to get a lot bigger, a lot stronger, and he could. And he's got plenty of time. I think Terry is all things the NFL would want, obviously. I mean, that's how you draw it up. So he's going to get drafted. So, yes, I would concur. It's about to happen. It'll be interesting. I mean, Travis Rudolph was really well thought of, and he didn't even get drafted.
He was a 4 or 5 star, depending upon where you looked. We had him and Lane coming in the same class.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like you've had production at the position. I mean, Rashad Green left the ACC as the all-time leading receiver. I mean, that's more than production. That is doing some things, right? But he went 5th round because, again, the college game is very different than the pro game, and he's not a big guy. Not at all. And his speed, which in college certainly served him well, is not overwhelming in the NFL by any stretch.
He's 0 to 60 in a blink of an eye, but even if you go by that analogy, he's probably 0 to 45. He doesn't have the top speed that people have to take attention for, but he has top acceleration. I saw there was actually a picture yesterday on social media, him working out at the Jaguars facility. He's working through rehab at the moment. So he'll get a fair shake again this year in training camp in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Rashad, he's been there for a couple of years now. Yeah. He's done some things. He's had his moments, right? In particular on special teams.
Punt return. Of course, punt returns, which he couldn't do here, but sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't real good at it here. He was a hold your breath kind of guy. Always.
Everyone was.
Yeah, we really struggled there. Seems we had a guy on the roster could have used this past year. Couldn't find him.
Had a lot of guys we could have used.
Couldn't get him out there. That's amazing. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'll say you do.
My problem is that in spite of having free Gumby's Pizza and $4.95 pitchers every Sunday and Monday night, free beer and free mixed drinks for our lovely ladies every Tuesday night, and other great money-saving specials every other night of the week, some of you are still going to other bars. Bars whose owners would never bare their souls, so to speak, as I am. So I'm simply asking for your business so poor Paul's can grow.
I see something else that needs to grow.
This isn't working. Hand me that towel, please.
I have a hanky.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with Easy Laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's Easy Laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
With McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu, you can choose among favorites like a delicious McChicken for only $1. Just $1 for golden crispy chicken, mayo, and shredded lettuce, all nestled between a perfectly toasted bun. So next time you find a crumpled up bill in the pocket of an old jacket, or notice the collection of loose change just chilling in your cup holder, give that change a new lease on life by turning it into a delicious McChicken. Build your meal with favorites like a $1 McChicken on McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Might I suggest the chicken taco salad from Bandito's Burritos, my friend?
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You know, I love these things. And because it involves sport, it happened to pop up on my radar, and I went, ooh, well, you guys have got me. I'm a sucker. I'm surprised it's not in the related topics section of everything that I pull up. Because that's how they got you now, man. Constantly. I buy one shirt online, and now I have every shirt manufacturer known to man. Like, hey, we got nice shirts. I see you're on the internet.
I see you're on the internet, sir.
Yeah, I see you on the internet. You looking for shirts again? We got some shirts you wouldn't believe, cheaper than that one you bought last time. Look at these. Here, click on us. You'll see. So now I don't know how to undo that. Now I have the shirt people coming after me. I did. I bought a nice shirt online, and, man, everything. So, you know, I'll buy shirts online. I won't buy pants online.
Just get an ad blocker for your browser there.
Is that right? That's all I have to do?
It's like an ad choices thing where they ping your history, and then they throw the same thing. So it used to happen here at the office when we lived at the other, or worked at the other place. Some lived, some worked. And we would order lunch from a certain place.
Yeah, and so then, boom.
That place would always show up on the computers there because we used to get delivery on the regular.
I'm getting more and more freaked out. It's not, I guess I shouldn't say freaked out. I sometimes think that they're able to ping us and send us things that we've only thought about. Like, I've thought about researching like a flight or something and then not done it. I know in my history in my life I have, so it's not surprising that, hey, we got great deals here. See that you've flown on a plane before. Maybe it's time to get back on that plane. Look at how cheap we can make it. But sometimes I'll be sitting around, like I'm going to go to Chicago in August, and I'm going to the Pearl Jam concert at Wrigley Field. And it's really more of it's a concert, but it's a celebration of my buddy's 40th birthday. And so we're doing a whole big weekend of it. We're going to a baseball game. It's going to be great. Well, I haven't yet looked, but I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it last night, in fact, very late. Couldn't sleep. Ridiculous, as usual. Woke up at 4, staring at the sun. Ended up watching a documentary. But the point would be that I laid there before I started that documentary about 15, 20 minutes and thought, well, what do I got to get done today? I mean, you know, what are we going to do on the show? What going to do this? Man, I really need to check those flights. I need to find out if I can get a reasonable flight out of Tallahassee. Lord knows this airport is ass sorry. And really the bane of all of us who live here in Tallahassee's existence. But nonetheless, maybe I'll get lucky and there'll be a round-trip flight that's less than $1,000 to Chicago.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Saved $500 by driving to Tampa to fly last week to Dallas.
Stupid. I'm still, I'm angry about this at all times. It is something that factors into my life on a daily basis, which is ridiculous. I could just be driving to Publix and I'll be like, you know, our airport is garbage. My wife's tired of hearing about it. But it's just, it's ridiculous.
So I logged into the Tampa International Wi-Fi last week and it said, well, are you here for business or personal reasons? It said personal. Tell us more about your experience. I'm here because Tallahassee Airport sucks.
That's what you do.
And you saved me hundreds of dollars.
That's right.
We had 2 tickets. I saved $500, $200 apiece, $250 apiece.
So you have firmly, so I remember going through this process about your age when you firmly move into when you go from broke college student or broke person just after college into middle class, just dead center middle class,
not upper, not lower,
right? Just middle
comfy,
class,
comfy middle,
right? You'll make it, right? If you've got a bill to pay, you can pay it. You're not dying, but you're not rich, so you are middle class.
Took some time.
Well, when you get to that place, it affords you the opportunity to fly more often as opposed to driving. Like I tell the story all the time. I drove to Tempe, Arizona in a truck, which is ridiculous, to see the Noles play Tennessee in the national championship game, right? I would never do that now. No, I'm flying always. If the trip takes longer than 6 hours, nah, that's not true. But
8.
Anything more than 8, you can go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing it. I'm
We'll
flying.
do the Charlotte thing, but that's about it.
And that's actually kind of fun in a weird way. Not fun on the way back. On the way there,
well, you're not going through too many small towns. That's the other thing. It's just kind of direct, and if you're on a highway, it's not terrible.
So anyhow, the point is when you have an opportunity, you just pull the trigger on the flight. Well, I also don't like driving to Jacksonville or Tampa to get said flight. I mean, I'll pay an extra $150, maybe even an extra $200 just to fly out of Tallahassee because, to me, once you factor in the gas, it's certainly well worth it to land here after a trip, to be here, home. You're done. You're done. You don't have anything else to do.
You're done.
You're done. I mean, I've flown from Ireland back to Florida, but we had to fly out of Jacksonville to go to Ireland. And then you land after flying from Ireland.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got to drive. I got to drive 2.5 hours. This is going to suck. I'm exhausted. So, the point is, I saved so much money by going that route, you had to do it. Sometimes it's a no-brainer. $500 is a no-brainer.
Right.
You're going to drive to Tampa. So, anyhow, I'm sitting there thinking, I'd really like to fly out of Tallahassee. I want, if I have to spend a few $100 extra bucks, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will. Just because it's going to be exhausting, obviously. I'll probably be having a good time in Chicago at a concert, don't you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I got up early, got the kids breakfast, did the whole thing. Got on my computer this morning. Flights to Chicago and the surrounding areas on my screen.
I know why that is. You bought the ticket already?
No, I haven't bought the ticket.
Oh, you haven't bought the concert ticket. Have you looked up the concert information?
I have looked up the concert information.
I got you. That's it.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's still intrusive.
I got the tickets, but I didn't buy them online. Yes. So, but I did look up the dates. I looked up the dates.
It's deducing that you're going to be up there.
Jesus, is it ever? It's taking this step now several layers, though. I mean, it used to be, I get it. If you ordered Pampers online for your babies, you were going to start getting all kinds of kid stuff, ads coming into your, not just your mailbox, obviously, but online. They were, you're a parent.
Yeah.
Oh, we got you. Here's everything you're ever going to need.
Buddy.
That's nuts.
2 examples on Twitter. One was from 2 years ago now. I was direct messaging someone. We were talking about whiskey, single malts, questions about single malts.
Yeah.
Texted about Lafroig. And that's in a direct message, not a,
that's not
sorry if I said text. We're direct messaging on Twitter about Lafroig.
It got you.
Now I have Lafroig ads in my Twitter timeline.
Which you like Lafroig as much as the next guy, but that's ridiculous.
But they're taking the personal message I wrote and they're using it to inform the feed.
Nothing private.
Then I had the, remember the chicken sausage fiasco? They packed the wrong kind in the box. And
that's right.
So I wrote to the people, the manufacturer, and they said, no problem, here's a receipt or a coupon for another one.
Now chicken sausage everywhere.
The competitor is. The one that I buy now because it's more available at the grocery store. But they know.
They're like, he had a problem.
He had a problem with the other one.
Let's get him.
So let's get him. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So the original point of all this story was to tell you this. There was 2 shark attacks in Australia during a World Surf League. They had to cancel the whole thing.
Australia, you don't say.
Yeah, it's awesome. They caught this. I live for this. Somebody caught a shaky handheld video of the attack. I'm telling you, we are closer to a world where people getting attacked by sharks are going to be caught on film on the regular, and my life is going to be made complete. I love it. I love these things.
Disgusting.
It's awesome. So I watched it. Of course I did. Clicked right on it. I can only imagine now what's going to come up on my feed moving forward because I'm forever clicking on videos about sharks and shark attacks. I love them. I want to see more of them. This guy was surfing with his buddy, and he was having a good old time. They were yucking it up, quote unquote, having a ball, according to him. And this is the quote that freaked me out. Right? He said that there I was, with my buddy. We were getting ready to. They were on The left-hander surf break is as it's known. And
sounds inappropriate.
And then there he is having a ball in the water before he said he saw a shark which was heading straight for me. 13-foot great white shark. The water was so clear, he got to see this shark zeroing in like a torpedo from like 25 yards away. Woo! That's a lot of time.
How does he know it's a 13-foot shark?
Well, it bit his board. It lifted him out of the water. It's caught on film, but it's shaky. You can barely see anything. But, he survives. He gets back on the bitten board, and they measure the tooth marks, so that's how they can tell the radius. Yeah, that's how.
Right.
Yeah, so 13-foot great white shark zeroing it in on you, and he sees it coming. Oh, imagine that moment. He tried to hold up the board. It went, and I got him in the leg.
I think you have imagined that moment, that in particular moment about sharks in the water
coming
more than
at me.
Anybody.
No,
in the history
not more
of
than
mankind.
people who have actually been attacked by sharks or seen one or very narrowly avoided attack. But yes,
the unaffected masses.
Yeah. I think my dad took me to Jaws way too soon. I saw Jaws when it came out. I was like 7 or 8 years old. You should not have done that. That's just bad parenting.
Set you down a path.
It did.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Hill Highway, Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. Come watch professional tennis in your own backyard. The 19th annual Tallahassee Tennis Challenger, April 21st through the 28th at Forest Meadows Tennis Center. Rising stars and tour veterans battle for ATP points and a wild card draw into the French Open. Fun for the whole family. Kids 10 and under, admitted free. For more information, go to TallahasseeChallenger.com.
Hey, we're checking in with Joe over at Truck and Car Concepts. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, how you guys doing today? It's an awesome setup here at Truck and Car Concepts. You come in here, it's your one-stop shop. You can get it all taken care of. Window tinting, pinstriping, graphics, you name it, Truck and Car Concepts does it. And we've also got those bolt-on accessories that makes the truck look nice. We've got grill guards, we've got brush guards, stainless steel Nerf bars, lifetime warranty on those. And again, the spray-in bed liner is going to make it worth your while.
You're talking about putting a few of these things on there, and you're going to increase the value of that vehicle.
Well, you will, and not only are you going to do that, but you're going to make it look nice. It's going to customize it for your own personality and your own wants and needs. Some guys like it jacked up. We also do lowering kits.
There's only one place in town that's going to be able to truck it up then.
That's right. That's Truck and Car Concepts.
Truck and Car Concepts. 1 block east of Weems Road on Mahan Drive, across from Kraft Nissan. Call 656-8800. Come on, say it with me. 656-8800.
With McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu, you can choose among favorites like a delicious McChicken for only $1. Just $1 for golden crispy chicken, mayo, and shredded lettuce, all nestled between a perfectly toasted bun. So next time you find a crumpled up bill in the pocket of an old jacket, or notice the collection of loose change just chilling in your cup holder, give that change a new lease on life by turning it into a delicious McChicken. Build your meal with favorites like a $1 McChicken on McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Shot, save, rebound, score!
The playoffs are here. The Corner Pocket is your home all spring long for all the heart-pounding moments in the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs.
It's held in a shot, save, rebound, score!
The Corner Pocket on Appalachian Parkway next to Earth Fair is your headquarters for Trivia Tuesdays, Beer Bingo Thursdays, and of course, all the moments you'll never forget.
For the championship!
The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. It's a big night of NBA playoff coverage on the family of networks at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Game 3 for the Cavaliers and Pacers. The series tied at 1. Kevin Love is expected to play for Cleveland after tweaking his left thumb in Game 2. That game also tips off a doubleheader on ESPN TV. The second game will be Celtics and Bucks in Milwaukee, with Boston leading that series 2-0. On ESPN2 at 8 Eastern, it's Game 3 for the Raptors and Wizards in Washington, with Toronto leading 2-0. Kansas sophomore center Udoka Azubuike will enter the NBA draft, but he's not hiring an agent yet. Azubuike led the country this season, shooting 77% from the floor. Others declaring for the draft today without agents are Kentucky's Jared Vanderbilt, Michigan's Charles Matthews, Tyus Battle from Syracuse, and Maryland's Kevin Huerter. The start of the NFL draft is now less than a week away. The Browns hold the number 1 pick. The Giants have the 2nd pick. ESPN's Dan Graziano believes the team is leaning toward running back Saquon Barkley with that pick.
Barkley is I think, the favorite at this point to be their pick at number 2. I personally think they should be thinking quarterback with Eli Manning at 37 years old.
I believe you put on Twitter they'd be crazy if they didn't
I think they'd be crazy if they don't take a quarterback. Because how often are you picking number 2? And how often are you picking number 2 in a draft that has quarterbacks at the top that are like this?
Dan Graziano on Golick and Wingo. On the baseball scoreboard, first of a day-night doubleheader in Detroit. The Tigers lead the Royals 1-0 in the 5th. A marquee pitching matchup on ESPN Plus at 10 Eastern. Max Scherzer and the Nationals against Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers. Carolina Hurricanes coach Bill Peters resigns today after 4 years on the job.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Cyclist Lance Armstrong, you guys know him. And oh, by the way, if you haven't watched that documentary on Netflix, you should. It's really, really fascinating. Just the mindset, the mentality that went on, and the exhaustive efforts and the cruelty, all in a nutshell there, as well as the hundreds of millions of dollars that's raised for cancer, which has always made this a fascinating story to me. But former cyclist Lance Armstrong has agreed to pay $5 million to the federal government. Got to settle that civil fraud lawsuit against him that the government filed. You don't want the government filing lawsuits against you. That's a troublesome situation.
They have resources, yes.
He was wise to do so, and that the case was scheduled to go to trial with $100 million at stake. He said, I'll give you 5. Can we make this go away? I'll give you $5 million, please. I don't want $100 million in the balance. And they said, all right. But as part of that settlement, Armstrong will now pay $1.65 million to Floyd Landis. And Landis' attorney noted that his legal team will receive $2.75 million total from the deal, including $1.1 million cut from the government's $5 million recovery. That trial was scheduled for May the 7th in Washington, D.C. The Justice Department issued a statement Thursday saying nobody's above the law. A competitor who intentionally uses illegal performance-enhancing drugs not only deceives fellow competitors and fans, but also sponsors who help make sporting competitions possible. This settlement demonstrates that those who cheat the government will be held accountable. The federal government had sued him in 2013, a few months after he admitted to extensive use of performance-enhancing drugs and blood transfusions in a televised interview with Oprah. The government filed the suit on behalf of the U.S. Postal Service, which paid $32.3 million to sponsor Armstrong's cycling team from 2000 through 2004. Much of that went into Armstrong's pockets. He said in a statement to Armstrong, "I thought it was frivolous, but I've tried to make peace ever since admitting to my mistakes." He also went on to say, "I believe that while I am spending a lot of money to resolve the situation, I have continued to try since 2013 to take full responsibility for my inappropriate conduct and make amends wherever that is possible. I rode my heart out for that team and was always especially proud to wear the red, white, and blue on my chest when competing in the Tour de France. Those memories are very real and mean a lot to me." Armstrong had falsely denied doping for more than a decade. We know that. As for the Landis situation, he says, "I am pleased with the settlement, gratified to see the allegations against Lance Armstrong finally resolved after 8 years of litigation. It has been a difficult ordeal, and public opinion was not always on my side. But it was the right thing to do. I am hopeful that some positive changes for cycling and sport in general will be the result of this." Do you recall when all this happened, Landis was made to look like a fool,
yes,
a buffoon. I mean, a man that was to be scoffed and laughed at, and largely the negative PR and the angles taken by the press at the time in writing about Landis were fueled by Armstrong's team, which that documentary reveals. The lengths to which he would go to undermine people who were accurately and truthfully telling others of his misdeeds was like a dictator. I mean, it was amazing. He left voicemail messages on his voicemail machine, which was dumb, by the way.
Who? Armstrong on
Landis's.
Okay.
That said, "I have more money than you could ever dream of. I will outlast you. I can make this all your worst nightmare." Which for a time it looked like he certainly did and would, and he ruined lives. His amongst them. But eventually, obviously, the truth was found out.
This is one of those stories, though. The government's just looking for a chance to beat its chest with nobody's above the law. What the hell is that? Really?
Well, of course.
You got your pound of flesh because you're fighting for the Postal Service. And in truth, the Postal Service PR that it got for that, Lance didn't do any damage net. The Postal Service got more publicity for this.
First of all, nobody thinks about the Postal Service ever, under any circumstance, other than when the package doesn't arrive at your door when it's supposed to.
Right.
That's it. Nobody does. Nobody ever goes around, "Boy, that Postal Service." I'll tell you something. I'm glad they're involved with Lance Armstrong. Those two need each other. They're both great American institutions. Nobody cares about the Postal Service?
No, typically, actually, when you're told that you got somebody mailing something to you by the Postal Service,
You're
you
like,
go,
"Oh.
They didn't use UPS.
Yeah, could have used something else, right?"
The hell?
Now, don't confuse our besmirching of the Postal Service's reputation and or brand for having a lack of respect for those who work for the Postal
this is
Service.
the corporate level
No.
crap.
We're looking at corporate level. So, yes, because mailmen work hard, and women. And many of them listen to the great Jeff Cameron Show on a daily basis as they are tasked with the responsibility of getting letter upon letter upon to our house, right?
That has nothing to do with the clarification, right? Nothing at all.
No. I actually...
It's true, though. At the corporate level, man, we all know the drill.
By the way, Lance Armstrong, get this. So I'm always so naive as to what kind of spoils come your way when you achieve something of greatness like winning the Tour de France, let alone as many times as he won it. Because if you said to me, how much money do you think Lance Armstrong has made in his life strictly based on his successes on the bike, right? I don't know. What would you have said?
Strictly from the bike.
Well, okay, and everything that comes with it. He got paid by Nike.
Okay, endorsements too.
Yeah, endorsements too. What would you have said? He probably made $200 to $300 million in his life.
Yeah, I would have guessed $180 million.
Right, something like that.
Yes,
which is a lot of money. I mean, good Lord, that's a lot of money. Enough to set him up for life. No worries. He's got a massive house in Austin, Texas. He's good to go.
Yeah, as long as he wasn't taking kickbacks from the Livestrong campaign.
Which apparently he never did. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's the only thing that saves him. Yes, but anyhow, Lance Armstrong has said that from 2012 to now, he's paid out over $100 million in legal costs and other lawsuits and trying to do the right thing and all. He talks a lot about trying to make amends for what happened and that he sought since 2012, 2013 to try to make it all right. This will be just another $5 million. Well, I had no idea. I mean, I would not have guessed that Lance Armstrong could be steady doling out $100 million and still be all right. But apparently, he made closer to $500 to $600 million in his career on a bike. Nobody in this country even cares about the Tour de France. Nobody even cares about bike racing at all. Nobody.
Nobody cares about bike racing, but he was a household name. So he found a way to, his people, they found a way to make the most out of that.
I'd say.
There's proof in the pudding right there.
My
$500-600 million.
A bike racer. I mean.
Well, the book sales, he might have made quite a penny on the book sales.
I think you're right. And listen, I get it. I'm overstating it. There are plenty of you out there listening going, I care about bike. I know you weekend warriors that clog up the roadways. I got you. I know.
3 feet.
I mean, fine. You guys care about it and your tights and all that nonsense. But for me, on the whole, I mean, nobody is sitting around. If it's not the Tour de France, when have you ever tuned in to a bike race? Nobody.
If it's not the Tour with an American leading the way, when have you ever? Right. That's important too.
Yeah. I mean, you just don't. You don't, because it's boring to watch. It's boring as hell to watch. It just is.
Yeah.
You're just watching dudes on a bike. Now, there's a difference between me talking about the entertainment value of the Tour de France or professional bike racing, and also and whether or not it's entertaining, and also noting that it is probably the sport I'd least like to have to do. Like if you said you have to play a sport and you've got to work at it and you got to try to get good at it to the best of your abilities. You're not going to be a world-class anything, Jeff, but in the next year, you have to play a sport and you've got to work at it. I think cycling, maybe that marathon running, but cycling even more would be number one on my list of things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Swimming, long-distance forms of swimming, maybe, because that's equally brutal.
Cycling,
Cycling sucks, man.
Yeah. It's mispronounced. It's actually pronounced suffering.
It is just a test of how much you can suffer. How much do you hate yourself? How much do you miss your dad's love? How much is it that you're still chasing or running? What is it you're doing to decide to get on a bike and ride until you puke?
Except for Hans. He just loves to cycle.
Why are they passing me?
The Fraunhofer.
I don't. It's crazy. Now, listen, I get testing yourself. Ooh. I've tried with the cycling. Not. I haven't gone all in on the gear and all that stuff, Tom. I haven't bought the special shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, they click in.
Yeah. No, I've not done all that. My brother up in New Hampshire does it and rides great distances, and he's good at it. And it's been good for him. It's been therapeutic.
Does he have proper padding?
I think so. I have never had the proper padding. You get me 2 miles in, and I'm complaining about the boys. I've got an issue, and it's frustrating. I'm like, well, who needs this? Who needs this? I'd rather be running because they don't hurt when you run.
That's correct. Or the, immediate
area.
Vicinity.
That's right.
Yeah.
None of that. No, I'd rather run, and I don't like running. Swimming or that? Swimming. I'd probably do swimming.
Well,
those are toughies, man.
How deep is the pool? Because once I'm suffering, I'm dead. You don't die if you can't stop, if you have to stop pedaling.
Lance Armstrong has made him some damn money on that bicycle. Good Lord. Here's $100 million. Go away. Leave me alone. I've still got $450 million more where that came from. You were on a bike.
I was cycling in Monaco. You wouldn't believe the prize money.
Good Lord, it's amazing. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You have 10 days from the date of the arrest to contest the suspension. Did you know in Florida, a DUI conviction will stay on your record for the rest of your life? If you've been arrested for a DUI, don't blow it. Call my office and talk to me today, 222-4005, or visit my website, fredconrad.com. I'll personally handle your case.
Eat, sleep, fish. Mike's Marine Supply and Skeeter Boats want to get you out on the open water. They're your local Skeeter dealer, custom rigged with Yamaha outboards. Stocked with a full line of Skeeter boats from the Bass to the Saltwater Bay Series, Skeeter has been recognized for 18 consecutive years as the leader in customer satisfaction for fiberglass outboard boats. Check in at Mike's Marine Supply for the spring specials starting soon. Located at 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida, call Mike's Marine at 984-5637. Online at mikesmarinetallahassee.com.
Commercial lawnmowers don't have odometers, but if they did, you might be surprised to see you could be mowing thousands of miles a year. That's why Gravely zero-turn mowers are built for the long haul. So when you're mowing the equivalent of Miami through Kentucky bluegrass country, all the way to Seattle, and back again every year, you can count on your Gravely zero-turn mower to get the job done, mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Over 150 new zero turns in stock. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view inventory and pricing. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and Red Tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
Up to $7,900 in cash back savings. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view selection.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
In Thomasville, Georgia.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
This is The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
The Dark Knight is continuing to struggle. Isn't that what they called Matt Harvey?
Harvey. The franchise? No, it did okay.
No, the Dark Knight is continuing to be a loser. Immediately got his team down 3-0 in the first inning by allowing the 2-run homer to Kurt Suzuki, who's not any good. And then later in that same inning, gave up the double to Nick Markakis. You Braves fans were celebrating the moment without question, as Braves are hot right now, by the way, and you can hear them right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Oh, you heard Harvey. You could hear the vomiting noises right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. They got a good crowd, Mike.
Yeah, Harvey ended his night by retiring 11 of the last 12 batters faced, which he viewed as a rousing success in the 4th through the 6th innings. He called it a big breakthrough. Said, look, I've dug myself into a hole the last 4 starts. I really feel those last 3 innings were a big step out of that hole. Perhaps, by the way, his last 3 outings, he has an ERA of 7.88. Not exactly lighting it up, and so it was with good reason. that he was asked certain questions that seemed to annoy him. But legitimate questions they have to be, as a veteran lefty Jason Vargas set to return from the disabled list. A reporter who's not shy asked Mr. Harvey whether or not he felt job security was an issue, which I appreciate.
Well, he also got a tip because it very much is an issue.
It is an issue.
Yes, when the manager says, I'm not going to commit to a start for Matt Harvey.
I'm going to get to that in a second because that's funny. No, you didn't stomp on it. It's just funny. Clearly, they knew something that maybe Matt didn't, but also the results would have allowed for that question. Even if Mickey Callaway wasn't busy telling the press on the side, screw this guy, 7, 8, 8 in your last 3 starts, plus you sucked last year, so nobody needs to, you don't have to be a great inspector to figure this all out. My man doesn't get people out with any degree of consistency. And so he was asked about whether or not he could be moved to the bullpen, for example, because in short spurts, he does get people out. And he can just let it all go, right? For an inning or two.
Free and easy.
Yeah. And his answer was, I'm a starting pitcher. I've always been a starting pitcher. I showed that in the 5th and 6th innings today. I can get people out even when my pitch count goes up. I'm a starting pitcher. There were more questions along the lines of whether or not he would be willing to accept a demotion, either by going to the pen or being sent down to the minor leagues. That I got to give him credit for. Because if you watch the video, he's incensed. He's furious by the thought of being sent down. And he's offended by the question because he's an egomaniac.
Yes, he's a bag of the Delta variety.
Mm-hmm. So what ends up happening is he catches himself, though, and in this sense he's grown quite a bit because he's about to answer when he says, I can't answer that question right now. And I thought the Jeff Cameron Show PR firm, because he wanted to lash out, in the worst kind of way. And it's not lost on me that I'm sure he was actually angry, not just about the question, but that it was asked by a woman. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure that bothered him. You could see it on his face. Maybe I'm putting too much on him. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But it felt like it. It felt like when the woman doubled down on the questions of his prowess, he was getting angrier by the second. Angrier than he would have had it been a male beat reporter.
Sure. Well,
to me.
Take it, channel it, use it. Because that energy somehow isn't being focused and harnessed into preparation.
Not in winning baseball, it's not. No,
you're not a starting pitcher right now. You're not good enough, period. And you know what? Steven Matz ain't great either, and you're worse. Think about that.
Well, I don't know why any pitcher, look, I'll say this, and he's young into his career, and so it will be interesting. But, for example, the Pirates have had to take guys that were minor league pitching prospects, supposed to be horses, guys that were going to be elite frontline starters, 1 and 2 starters. Tyler Glasnow, for example, is a good example. Tyler walks too many people. And moreover, if he gets through the lineup once, he's fine, but never gets through the lineup a second time. And this every time they've called him up, if he pitches well for 3 innings, that 4th, they're going to start lighting him up. It just always happens. That or he starts walking people. So this year, knowing that he's got good stuff, but maybe isn't mentally strong enough or stuff isn't so overpowering that he can sustain it over long periods of time, the Pirates just went to him and said, you're going to be a bullpen guy. Coming out of spring training, we're going to put you in the bullpen. And he wanted to be in the big leagues. So he said, well, all right, I'll have to prove to you that I can do better. But for now, I like being a major league player. I'll accept that. That's all there is to it.
Yes.
That's the way it works. You don't have a choice here. And that's the thing that drives me nuts. I get that the organization has a lot invested in him, and you don't want to get to a point where he'll never pitch for you again, or maybe you do. But the point would be, when I hear guys act as if they're going to dictate to management or the coaches how this is going to work when they've been ineffective. Now, I get it when they've been effective, and they're like, whoa, what's going on here? Or sometimes organizations will manipulate situations that benefit them financially, and that bothers you.
Yeah. This isn't a slump.
But when you're not any good.
No, this is a year plus of this stuff.
Yeah.
He's an Agbay Ushday.
Final hour forthcoming. I think we should end on that. That's good. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Coolant now $6.99 a gallon at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, honey. How was your day?
It was fine. Pretty uneventful. How about you?
Well, I called the auditors this afternoon and made an appointment for one to come out to the house.
Wait, what? Have you lost your mind? Auditors? Why would you call them? Now we have to find our tax returns, paycheck stubs, and financial records, not to mention all those forms. Good grief.
Relax, honey. It's not that kind of auditor.
It's not?
No. I called the City of Tallahassee Utilities and scheduled a free energy audit.
Energy audit?
Right. It's when an energy auditor from our own utilities comes out to the house, examines the structure, and checks our energy and water systems, and then recommends changes we might make to save energy, water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, our own utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You can do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Woohoo! Banditos!
Huh? Where?
Banditos Burritos, baby.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves update.
Thursday night at SunTrust Park, the Braves downed the Mets by a score of 12-4 in Game 1 of a 4-game weekend series. The Atlanta offense jumped on Matt Harvey for 3 in the first on a Freddie Freeman sac fly and 2-run homer from Kurt Suzuki. Then in the third, the Braves added on as Nick Markakis drove in a run with an RBI single and Preston Tucker doubled home 2 more. Matt Whistler allowed just 1 run on 2 hits with no walks and 8 strikeouts over 7 innings pitched. New York got a run in the 5th on a solo homer from Todd Frazier, but the Braves would break things wide open with a 4-run 7th, capped off by a bases-clearing 3-run double from Preston Tucker. Afterwards, Tucker said he hoped a win like this could have a carryover effect.
You know, when everyone's swinging, it's fun to watch, and I enjoy every second of it. And I think we get a tough matchup tomorrow, so I think we got a good feeling going into that.
Braves and Mets will continue their 4-game series coming up tonight as Sean Newcomb squares off against Noah Syndergaard. Hear the call live from SunTrust Park right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern. With the Braves, I'm Kevin McAlpin for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. A big night of NBA playoff coverage on the family of networks at 6:30 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. Game 3 for the Cavaliers and Pacers. The series tied at 1. Kevin Love is expected to play after tweaking his left thumb in Game 2. That game also tips off a doubleheader on ESPN TV. The nightcap will be Celtics and Bucks in Milwaukee, with Boston leading that series 2-0. On ESPN2 at 8 Eastern, it's Game 3 for the Raptors and Wizards in Washington, with Toronto leading 2-0. The NFL Draft is now less than a week away. The Browns hold the number 1 pick. The Giants have the 2nd pick. ESPN's Dan Graziano believes the team is leaning toward running back Saquon Barkley, although he disagrees.
How often are you picking number 2? And how often are you picking number 2 in a draft that has quarterbacks at the top that are like this?
Dan Graziano on Golic and Wingo. Baseball today, first of a split doubleheader in Detroit. The Tigers beat the Royals 3-2 on Jacoby Jones' walk-off home run in the 10th. Marquee pitching matchup on ESPN Plus, Nationals and Dodgers.
When you put your everything into your passion, amazing things can happen. Passion moves us forward. It's how you think. It's how we think. Courtyard by Marriott, the official hotel of the NFL.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for this week, and a fine Libations Friday to you and yours. Loosey-goosey edition of the program, as we're wont to do on Fridays. I'm Jeff, that's Tom, online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming, free always. Don't miss anything. Sometimes we all miss things, and we think, how can I go back and catch up with that? Go to iTunes. You'll find all 3 hours posted upon the conclusion of the show. You'll also find it on our webpage, ESPNTallahassee.com. You can email the show if you like. It's jcs@979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's @JCameronShow. TSM is the, good Lord, station I work for. WTSM app is what I was trying to say. You need the WTSM app. It's free. Get it now for your Android or iPhone. Doesn't matter. Listen that way if for some reason it's the easiest in the moment to do so. I do that, and these apps are amazing things. I listen to the WTSM app all the time.
Do you really?
I do find myself listening to the WTSM.
There you go.
When I get in the shower in the morning, have it on my phone there, my Bluetooth speaker, WTSM app it, if I feel like it. Not always, but sometimes. Or if I want to catch up on something. If I want to self-critique, if I want to say, let's see if you were any good yesterday, Cameron. And I'll be in there washing what little hair I have. I still wash my hair. I do.
How long does that take?
Not very. No, you know what I do? I have a loofah. I'm a loofah guy. Not afraid to say. And I'll put, it's just like one big body wash. Now the head's part of it. It's not really washing.
Okay, it's not shampoo.
No, occasionally. Normally it's just some sort of body wash. Don't mind telling you. I like to use a very special kind of Old Spice body wash that I use that I think is the best of the best that I have found. And I get to the scrubbing, and I just scrub my head. Try to get all the dead skin off. Just get after it.
There it is. That's a visual right there.
Almost like an elbow. Just get it. Yeah.
This makes my Libations Friday.
Every now and again, if I've let my hair grow out for a couple of days, where I'm like a hippie, it's gotten out of control, where I'm sending a message to society that I'm not going to conform to their ways. I'm going to grow it any way I want to with what little I have. Then I do use shampoo because I feel like it's warranted.
Yes, yeah.
And I'll get in there and I'll get the dual conditioner and shampoo. You know, I don't miss the hair washing process. I thought no, not at all.
Not much to it. It's shampoo.
Yeah,
and,
it feels like it takes up an extra minute
every couple of days.
No
conditioner.
No cause for that.
Why do you like to get in and out?
No, I'm a long shower guy. I'm a long shower guy, but I don't want to be working that whole time. I'm going to go to Florida State here in a second. I'll do that. But first, should note, because I didn't earlier in the show, that former Ohio State football coach Earl Bruce, who when I was growing up was a really big to-do in the world of college football and certainly an all-time legend, has passed away. College Hall of Fame member, of course, at the age of 87 years old. Absolutely beloved man by Ohio State fans and people who love college football. His 4 daughters released a statement. By the way, I was thinking about this. I have kids. I hope when I pass that they'll say something as nice, not that the world would care, but as these 4 daughters did about their dad. I mean, this is the way it's done right here. They called him a wonderful husband, father, grandfather, and a respected coach to many on and off the field. And they talked about what a great life he had and how nice he was to everybody and how they think of him as the greatest father. You just want that to be the case with your icons, right? Because you're not always sure. All these guys, they kind of forsake some of that family responsibility because they work all the time.
Unless the daughters just don't have the skeleton information, you know?
Well, and that's okay, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right, too. They don't need to go digging.
No.
What would be the point of that?
That is the proverbial Christmas figure, you know? You never want to learn that the Christmas figure is anything but 100% tangibly real.
We're at a crossroads with that because...
Turn the radios down, parents with, young kids.
Because that figure is known not to exist by my oldest, of course. And he's known forever, but he plays along with the gig. You know how that works.
Well, because he gets stuff out of it.
Because he gets stuff out of it, right. Hell, I'm still playing along with the gift. So I'm like, oh, look what Santa brought Daddy. It's an excuse to buy myself something for Christmas, and I wrap it and say it's from Santa.
Boy, it was a week early.
Yeah, how about that? Santa coming through with the Bose headset. Way to go, Santa. That was going to cost me a bundle, but Santa took care of it, Mom. But anyhow, that said, the youngest certainly is all in, and the oldest is threatening. And I'm like, I will.
Threatening
to tell the truth.
Wait, what is he trying to leverage you for something?
Well, he likes to, they're brothers, and they sometimes really love each other and sometimes really don't love each other. And so anything to hurt.
Unless I get $75 to Games for Less on the Parkway, we're going to have consequences here.
Uh-huh. Your youngest may have the illusion that is Christmas shattered.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce followed Woody Hayes as coach and compiled an 81-26-1 record. His teams won or shared in 4 Big Ten titles. Between 1979 and 1987, he also coached at Tampa, Colorado State, Iowa State, and of Northern Iowa. His career record, 154-90-2. He coached at high school football in the state of Ohio. Anyhow, had pretty much a sterling reputation. He had a playing career that was cut short by injury, and Woody Hayes encouraged him to get into coaching. Said he was a smart guy, should do it. And did, and anyhow, he's passed away at the age of 87. Now, to our current coach, who's nowhere near 87 and doing really good things right here on Earth, alive and well, he is continuing a trend that I am happy to celebrate on a regular basis, and that is not only appealing to the community, the alumni, the boosters, but also the faculty at Florida State, former players we know about. We just got done celebrating that at the spring game. I know Ira posted that that FSU athletics department, that they hold their internal, quote, town hall meetings every fall and spring. And it's a gathering where the coaching staffs and the other department staffers all get together, spend some quality time together, go over issues, things that they may have in common, some that are issues that are unique to their program. And, of course, the AD, Stan Wilcox, is there. It's probably a pretty important meeting. It's a good way to build camaraderie. Well, Jimbo didn't go to those things. You're not required necessarily to go. That's all I'll say about that. Willie showed up at the town hall meeting. He also brought every single member of his coaching staff so that they could stand up and introduce themselves to everybody there and to get to know the rest of the department and to try to work with the rest of the department. And I can only tell you this, and I can only add to that. I happen to work with somebody who's in that department. I also happen to know some other members that work alongside his staff and others. And they've all said that that is absolutely something that has wowed them and made them very happy, because that is not always a situation where everybody sees eye to eye. Obviously, you can imagine, given the way money's dispersed, where it goes and where it doesn't. More importantly, some people might have certain grudges that they hold, might have some frustrations about how much more difficult it is for them to do their job on a slight budget as opposed to others. And so acrimony can set in unless you show what a team player you are and you kind of step in there and try to make things right, try to do the best you can to help out where you can. And this does happen. Football can help basketball. Basketball can help football. Baseball can help basketball. Basketball can help soccer. The relationships that are built in the recruiting world and amongst men and coaches and moms and dads and everywhere, these things oftentimes are intertwined. High schools, high school coaches, they've met with all of these people at various points, and you can do a solid for another coach just with the relationships you might have at a certain high school or with a certain parent, right? This group gets that and is all in on that and has been since the day they got here. And the department, by and large, is very, very impressed, which just goes in line with what we've been hearing so much about Willie in this group, is that he really just has not suffered a misstep at this juncture. Again, none of these things necessarily lead to wins or losses, and that's what's going to matter most. It's just nice to read, nice to hear, and to have it echoed by so many different people.
Well, and this is where it's universal that he will be, beyond just the colors that he sports, which are garnet and gold every weekend. People are going to root for him to succeed. People want Willie to succeed more than they want him for their own selfish reasons that Florida State succeeds. And I think that's going to be kind of that tipping point. If he doesn't live up to the expectations, well, at what point do you start to talk about things in a real sense? It's going to be later than it would be if he was a mercenary #egg-a-hole coach. I can tell you that much.
I think that's absolutely true.
That's the human nature element of what's going on here.
It's also smart to ingratiate yourself that way in the community and in the athletic department and amongst the fans, obviously, for the very reason you're describing. I mean, I'm not saying it's not calculated, but I'm also not saying it's not genuine.
Now, that's deep.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not deep, but I think it's genuine, and I think it's smart.
Well, how do you do both, while being genuine?
I can 100% tell you how you do both because we do it all the time. It's not lost on me that when we host the bowling tournament or a golf tournament that I did for 13 years and charities benefit greatly from that's not good PR. It is. It's great PR, but it's also a great deed and something we look forward to do more than anything else that we do because people benefit. People in need really do benefit, and we are helping them because we can, which is the greatest part about this medium, right? If we can do any little thing like that, it only serves to enhance your love and passion for the job. But it's not lost on me that that's good publicity.
Right, but we don't have a calculated meeting where we talk about what can make us look good.
No.
There's no such thing as that meeting.
No, and I don't think there's been that kind of a meeting either. I think that Willie cares deeply about being at Florida State. When he said it was his dream job, I believe that's true, and everything that comes with it. And these opportunities come with it as well. And it's certainly, if you're going to get the most out of this opportunity, the quote-unquote the opportunity of a lifetime, then you need to be all in across the board in all things, whether that is coaching on the field, whether that's recruiting, whether that's in charitable functions, whether that's reaching out on booster tours and the things he's going to have to do as a head coach. You oversee the whole thing. So it's important to understand the layers that are involved in all of this. No, that can't be the motive. Then it is disingenuous, and that would suck. But I don't think that's what it is. I think it's him doing what he would do anyhow, but also the benefits of that are not lost on him. It can't be. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
If you get into an accident, call 1-855-HOSE-305. That's 1-855-HOSE-305. We don't get paid until you do. Se habla español. Offices Tallahassee and Miami.
Tired of your normal two-piece kit? Makita and Cornerstone are back together with a better-than-ever offer. Purchase a Makita brushless premium hammer drill and impact kit and receive your choice of a free bare tool, plus a free 6-amp-hour battery. That's a total of 3 batteries, a $150 value. Not to mention, buy any 3 Makita brushless tools and get a free starter kit, 1 tool bag, 2 5-amp-hour batteries, and 1 dual-bay charger. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave or 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location opens Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
With McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu, you can choose among favorites like a delicious McChicken for only $1. Just $1 for golden crispy chicken, mayo, and shredded lettuce, all nestled between a perfectly toasted bun. So next time you find a crumpled up bill in the pocket of an old jacket, or notice the collection of loose change just chilling in your cup holder, give that change a new lease on life by turning it into a delicious McChicken. Build your meal with favorites like a $1 McChicken on McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Coup de Gras is your favorite New Orleans-style bar in the middle of Midtown Tallahassee. And now they're serving food with signature dishes like Remy Shrimp Bread Bowls and Shrimp Po' Boys. Happy hours from 4 to 8 Monday through Friday, and Coup de Gras features karaoke on Tuesdays, live music on Fridays, and DJ Gant is spinning the tunes on Saturday. Crew is open 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. And coming soon, brunch will be served on Sundays. Check out the brand new, exciting menu at Coup de Gras, 1304 North Monroe Street, or give them a call today at 200-0114.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Live Nation's Friday demands we let it play. A lot of these songs today, longer than normal. Dolphins, Bucks, Jags, schedules, they're all out there. I learned a long time ago not to go crazy over the NFL's release of the schedule. The NFL masterful in what they do with drawing out the entire offseason so that it always feels like one big season, and they own some portion of the sports media every month of the year. It's pretty remarkable. It's well done. The schedule is something that people get excited about because they think they can predict what their team's record is going to be. And that's a much easier endeavor in college football than it is the NFL. In college football, most of the time, you have a clearer understanding of bigger, stronger, faster, and how it relates game by game. That's not true in the NFL, a league that proudly points out that every year a team that didn't make the playoffs the previous year did the next year, and that usually happens to more than one team. And so we've seen teams literally, and I point this out every year when the schedules come out, literally go from 2-14 to making the playoffs. That's happened before. Carolina Panthers did it. It's the NFC South, for example, year after year had a stretch, I don't know how many years in a row it was, maybe you know, Tom, where the team that won the division was different 5 or 6 years running?
Yeah, it was last to first is how it went for several years in a row. So if you finished last the year before, it didn't matter. But the thing about the schedule that I look at is, and this is where I used to listen to, obviously, Colin Cowherd a little bit more back in the day.
Yeah.
But he talked about facing elite quarterbacks
or
Pro Bowl quarterbacks.
That I agree with.
And that's the hard part, is the Bucs schedule in particular. There's if not an elite quarterback in Philly, for example, you have an elite offense with Carson Wentz. And then
I think you may have an elite quarterback in Carson Wentz. We'll see, but I think he's moving in that direction.
At the very least, the offense is such that Nick Foles can look like God. So that's a reality, plus the fact that you got to face your division opponents 6 times.
All
they
of
have
whom
NFL
have good-
MVPs.
Yeah. Well, let's do it. Here you go. The Bucs and the Saints. Drew Brees is going to the Hall of Fame.
Would you like some W's and L's?
Sure. Wins.
All right. How you doing?
Losses.
Damn it! We lost! We f***ing super lost, man!
Where do we triumph? Where doth thou fall? So I like that we're going to engage in the very thing that I said is absolutely fruitless, that you cannot do. That you cannot do because this is the NFL and teams go from last to first and or they don't make the playoffs the year before and then win the Super Bowl the next year. Like that's exactly what I said you can't do. But, hey, I'm a sucker. I'll do it. And not only will I do it, I'll do it for the Buccaneers, but I'll do it for the Jaguars and I'll do it for the Dolphins. I'll get the 3 teams in the state. You just love that music. September the 9th, 1 o'clock on Fox, on the road, the Bucs and the Saints. Jameis Winston, Drew Brees. Drew Brees once anointed Jameis Winston as the next Pro Bowl quarterback of the young crop. Bucs play well on the road against New Orleans, just as they do Atlanta a lot of times. Can't automatically chalk this up in the loss column.
This one should be pretty interesting. It'll be down to a field goal, I think. I'll go with a loss.
Going to go with a Week 1 win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Getting it done on the road, baby.
Shimmy.
1-0. Then young Matthew, director extraordinaire, diehard Eagles fan, rewarded with a Super Bowl victory not all that long ago, will trek down to Tampa on the 16th at 1 o'clock. Hot afternoon. Raymond James Stadium. The defending world champions taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Bucs pull the upset to move to 2-0, and the young season couldn't start any better as Jameis Winston outduels Carson Wentz.
I agree. I think it's a home opening win for the Buccaneers.
How about them?
How about that?
Look at this. By the way, should point out that the NFL decided, Tampa Bay, we're going to screw you. We're giving you Saints, Eagles, Steelers to start. Great quarterback.
There's a line from Colonel Slade. Wherever you are out there, blank you too.
I mean, come on. What is that? The Bucs face 1, 2, 3, 4 Pro Bowl quarterbacks in the first 5 games. They get a respite in between after the 3rd game by facing Mitch Trubisky's sorry ass.
There you go.
But you have Saints, Eagles, Steelers, Big Ben coming to Tampa Bay.
Well, and a year after you have the bye week that fits into week 1 because of the hurricane, now you have the early bye week the year after. Thanks a lot, dudes.
Yeah, week 4 to 5 is the bye week after week 4. Not what you do.
No.
But they figured after the could be throttling you face in 3 of the first 4 weeks because of quarterback play. Yeah, maybe you need to regroup. Here's the deal. I'll take the Bucs to beat the Steelers. I'll take the Bucs to beat the Bears. I'll take the Bucs to be 4-0 to start the young season.
Okay.
But I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Just as I don't believe they'll be 1-4 or 1-3 or 0-4. I don't know. The Steelers are whatever. They're good. They're not good sometimes. I don't know what to do with the Steelers.
Beat their ass in their building with Mike Glennon.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl. They're really good. You got us winning that game in Tampa Bay.
That's right, for no reason.
No reason. I got no reason for us to beat the Saints.
I got a reason. 3 letters. NFL.
There you go.
There it is.
So this does feel fruitless. It doesn't feel like something I don't know. I think the broader look at the schedule and what the league did or didn't do is the greater discussion. But for giggles, I got us winning week 1, winning week 2, losing week 3, winning week 4. We're 3-1 going into the bye. Now we're on the road in Atlanta, 3-2. Then we come back home and beat the Browns, move to 4-2. At the Bengals, move to 5-2. At the Panthers, 5-3. Come back home against Washington, 6-3. At the Giants, 7-3. Hosting the 49ers, 7-4. Hosting the Panthers, 8-4. hosting the Saints, 9-4, hosting the on the road at the Ravens, 9-5, at the Cowboys, 9-6, home to the Falcons, 10-6 for the Buckaroos.
Hello,
going to the playoffs.
Woo.
I hope somebody wrote that down. Where do you differ?
I differ in several of those games.
I'm
I won't
sure
go
you
back
do.
and do it.
10-6 is what I said. 10-6.
Set the over/under at 9.5.
All right, so you like where my head's at.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of how you get there. It's a juggle.
You got to get to the bye week 2-2. Even though you don't have to do it, I feel like you have to do it because things just turn ugly.
You don't need to be 1-3 before going on the road to face the Falcons.
Well,
no,
and things just turn ugly in our locker room if we're losing again through the first month of the season. Then you've got hot seat talk at the bye week. Nobody needs that life, man.
Well, after a successful draft of Quentin Nelson that we all witnessed at Bumpus on Capitol Circle Northeast in celebration of Nelson going to Tampa Bay, I just don't know how you can start 1-3. Don't worry about that, buddy. With that correct selection with the 7th pick overall, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Quentin Nelson and embark on a winning campaign to get back to the playoffs. There you go. There's the big picture hope.
Well, yeah, and by the bye week, Sony Michel will have 472 all-purpose yards.
What a draft.
Yeah.
What a draft. Quentin Nelson and Sony Michel coming to Tampa Bay. My goodness, we cleaned up in this year's draft. Way to go, Jason Light. Although those are no-brainers. If both are sitting there at the time we pick, no-brainers. Don't screw this up.
I want Darius Geis.
No. Good player, though.
He is. He's your more traditional 15 to 20 carry a guy player, whereas
player.
Michel is maybe 10 to 14 carries and maybe 6 catches. There you go.
Yeah. I'm okay. I think we're splitting hairs when we get to which SEC running back we take in that situation. I like Sony Michel as well. I do like the durability of Mr. Geis. That's a big man. You really want Sony Michel.
Yes.
Quickly, Dolphins schedule. Here you go. Oh, man, they tried to dupe me with their preseason up top. Screw you.
Well, it counts just as much, doesn't it?
It costs just as much at the very least. I don't know that it counts as
That's
much.
what the owners say.
Yeah. Are they only playing 3 preseason games this year?
We'll drop your parking pass down by $10 for the preseason. How about that?
Did they do that? Did they change that up?
What's that?
Are there only 3 preseason games this year?
No, there are 4. I don't know. Maybe they don't know what their 4th opponent's going to be yet.
Well, this is a screwy deal here. I don't know what to tell you. I guess they start with the Titans. This schedule keeps flickering on me. You got Titans-Dolphins week 1? Double check some Titans-Dolphins week 1.
I'll take the Titans if that is, in fact, the game that counts and the starters play for 4 quarters.
I don't know if it is. We got to double check this stuff. My schedule thing got screwed up.
Are you using their official website or who?
No, I'm going to go back and do their official website because I'm disappointed with what I see here. I'm going to do the Jags-Wire schedule instead because this I know to be true. You pull up the Dolphins. I'll pull up the Jags. Here go the Jags. Jags at New York. The Giants, the football Giants hosting the Jags week 1. That's a win for the Jags. Week 2, revenge on the mind. Home opener in Jacksonville. They take on the Patriots.
Ooh.
Week 2.
That's a win for the Jags.
It is a win for the Jags. Jags going to be good. Week 3, they take on Tennessee at home. They'll win that game. They'll be 3-0. They're going to pace the Jets the week after that and be 4-0. Jags don't lose a game until they go on the road October the 7th at Kansas City, where they'll fall for the first time this season and move to 4-1.
To Mahomes?
Perhaps. Perhaps.
I think they're still undefeated and slapping you in the cheeks.
5-0. Before they head on the road to face the Dallas Cowboys Sunday at 4:25 in Big D. Good game.
Is Dallas kind of falling apart?
Maybe. You got the Jags going undefeated, do you?
I do.
Okay.
To this point.
Then it's Houston. They're hosting. They'll win that game. Ooh. Then they get Philadelphia. They're like, hey, good job winning the Super Bowl. You're on the road in Jacksonville. You're on the road in Tampa Bay.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
A lot of beer and cigarettes.
Good times. The Landing will be pumped. Pregnancy test kits. Cigarettes.
Just needles strewn about.
Old trucks. Wings. Good times.
Jags-Eagles is, in fact, in London. That's right. It's the first good London game in history.
9:30 a.m. game ruined by the fact that it's in London.
People will be slipping all over Wembley or wherever they're playing.
Boo, NFL. Screw you. Don't you do that to us, 9:30 in the morning, ruining a great game. Stop sending games to London. It's stupid. Then it's the bye week. Then it's at Indianapolis. Another win for Jacksonville, who may just go 16-0.
Do you have them undefeated, or
No,
did they lose in London?
Hell, nobody knows what you're going to get in London. It's a stupid game. Jags will have lost a game somewhere in here.
Okay,
it's the
so
NFL.
one loss.
They're going to lose a game.
Okay.
They're going to beat the bejesus out of Indianapolis, though. Then it's home to Pittsburgh. The Steelers will fill the stadium.
That's a good game.
Real good game. At Buffalo, home to Indianapolis, at Tennessee, home to Washington, at Miami, late in the year. Fun game, December 23rd. That'd be a fun game to go down to.
Sure would.
And then at Houston to close it out. Jags 13-3.
Yeah, that's how. Damn right they are. 13-3.
Jaguars going 13-3, hosting throughout the playoffs.
And they'll still have quarterback questions as the playoffs begin.
Well, they will, because they're trusting that guy.
Yeah.
Which, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what you do.
They'll be the 1 seed, and people will say, yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to say that defense is damn awesome. I had it right, by the way. Got the Dolphins schedule correct. They're hosting Tennessee, first game of the year. I've got them beating Tennessee. 1-0 for the Dolphins. How about that? Then they go on the road and beat the Jets to start 2-0. Home to Oakland. Toss-up game, but that's a long flight, Oakland. 3-0 Dolphins.
Oh, my God.
Then they're at New England, 3-1. At Cincinnati, 4-1. Hosting Chicago, 5-1. Hosting Detroit, 6-1.
No.
At Houston, 6-2. Home to New York, 7-2. At Green Bay, 7-3. At Indianapolis, 7-4.
They lost to Indy.
They did. Upset special. Home to Buffalo, 8-4. Then they play New England, 8-5. Then it's at Minnesota, 8-6. Then it's Jacksonville, 8-7. At Buffalo in the dead of winter, 8-8, 500 for the Dolphins. I like my predictions.
Oh, my God. That would be the collapse of all time.
But it makes sense,
We would
actually.
love watching that car wreck.
I think that's going to happen. I think they're going to go 8-8, and I think it's going to happen exactly as I predicted it. Exactly.
I'm going with 5-11.
Okay. Well, they're not very good. I will confess that my 8-8 may be lofty.
Be tremendous.
It was a great start to the season, Miami.
Oh,
I had you right there.
The talk of the league.
My goodness gracious. So all of this was an exercise in me saying basically it's stupid to go through the schedules and pick wins and losses, which everybody does today, including me, all the while recognizing that it's dumb, but not being able to resist. There it is. I'm that guy. The NFL has beaten us down to a place where we can be as critical as is warranted and yet engage in hypocritical behavior by going through a schedule that you cannot predict year in and year out. That's proven, but I cannot resist the temptation that is schedule release day or the day after.
That's correct.
Always. We've done it for how many years? I've been hosting a show for 20 years. I've always done it.
Hey, just because it's illogical doesn't mean that, it's not fun.
It is fun. It's fun just to see the uniforms and try to picture them on the field again and certain things that you think maybe matchups are on the line and all that stuff. It's fascinating. The Dolphins are obviously rebuilding. They got rid of all their good players, and so we'll see what happens. But, I mean, with the Bucs, it's a fascinating year. The Jags have, by far and away, the greatest buzz in the state and the best opportunity with the most complete team to do some real damage, as in get to the Super Bowl. This is a year where Jags fans who are optimistic every season, and for years we had a lot of fun making fun of them. But you and I saw the writing on the wall a little bit early last year and started to realize, if the quarterback doesn't screw this up, they could win a lot because they have the magic potion, which is not magic at all. It's pretty straightforward. I can run the football, I'll throw off a play action, and I'm going to kick your ass on defense.
I know they had some injuries at receiver last year, but I thought they were pretty well in good position just about everywhere except quarterback. They had a couple of good receivers that bled over from 16 to 17. Then you get Fournette in the fold, and that's obviously a plus. But the draft from 2 years ago, you're able to get Ramsey in the first round, and then Miles Jack falls because of injury concerns. I mean, they were loaded everywhere. Then you go get a couple defensive linemen off the scrap heap. Well, not Calais Campbell. He wasn't off the scrap heap.
No.
But the pieces were put together so logically. There are times when there's free agency action and you think it's going to work and it fails miserably, even though it seemed like it made sense at the time. With the Jags, the moves they made sense. And they actually ended up working out. Probably a year later than most people thought, though. I thought in 16 they'd be a better team. Last year they were, though.
I do want to tell you this, Jaguar fans. You are no longer the shame of the league from a uniform standpoint. You got it together. Kudos to you. I make fun of you every day. I can't anymore. Your team is good. Your uniforms are tight. Nicely done. Did you see that? They ditched the two-tone helmet. Mm-hmm. It's a cool-looking helmet when they're wearing the blacks. Also, the blues when they're all blue. I got to admit, it's a little color rushy, but I'm all right with it because that black helmet with that logo with the all blue and Jalen Ramsey wearing the 20, it's a good look, man.
Yeah. Who's the laughing
gloves.
Who's the laughing stock now? With the uniforms.
Oh, it's us. It's us. It's Tampa Bay. No, I mean, well, the Bengals are always a perennial laughing stock because their uniform is a child's uniform. But I would say that, again, the Bucs just with the alarm clock jerseys, it's just not hard. It's not hard. Seriously, hire me and Tom. I swear we will get it right. We will. We will get it right. Nobody's universally happy, but by and large, anybody with reasonable taste would be very pleased with what Jeff and Tom from the Jeff Cameron Show come up with. I swear that's true. If you're a member of the Buccaneers higher-ups muckety mucks and you're listening to this, and you get told about it, I'm serious.
You've done crazier things. Let's be honest, guys.
You have
$1 down there. You've done crazy stuff.
Seriously, bring us in. We won't. I mean, listen. I'm not going to try to cost us money, but if you're worried about money. No big deal. We'll do it for the recognition. That's it. That's it. We'll do it. Maybe a little bit of money. Yeah. Maybe some tickets. How about some tickets?
Well, sweet tickets.
Yeah. Sweet tickets. Yeah. Both of us.
I'm sure some are available.
4 sweet tickets for each.
Yes.
For every game. Mm-hmm. That's all we want.
And a VIP parking pass.
Okay, well, that's a given. Especially if we come up with the uniforms that are going to be beloved. And you're going to sell uniforms. I'm telling you, we've got this. I'm not even kidding.
0.5% of all jersey sales. 0.5. That's not much. That's not much at all.
Well, with what we come up with, we'll be multimillionaires. That's for sure. I'm just saying it's not hard, and they have butchered it. Just like I used to get mad at the Jags, I'd go, who sat there and said we should put the yellow, the gold there on half the helmet, and put it black over here? Wouldn't that be something? No, Ted, that's stupid. We're not going to do that. And that's how quickly that meeting could have moved forward.
One more thing, too. With the ability to fire the cannons from the suite with a push-button remote.
Yeah, but they'll worry that we'll do it in play against the opposing team.
Sure will.
Right as the ball's in the air and we're beat. Tom, hit the button quick. He's wide ass
I'm on
open.
it. Hang on. It's coming down.
Right when he looks up,
or
startle him.
Yeah.
We'll come back, wrap it up momentarily.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
It's how you think. It's how we think. Courtyard by Marriott, the official hotel of the NFL.
Shot, sight, rebound, score!
The playoffs
Playoffs are here. The Corner Pocket is your home all spring long for all the heart-pounding moments in the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs.
It's held in a shot.
The Corner Pocket on Appalachian Parkway next to Earth Fair is your headquarters for Trivia Tuesdays, Beer Bingo Thursdays, and of course, all the moments you'll never forget.
For the championship!
The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
O'Reilly. The weather's getting warmer, and that means it's time to start working on your yard. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up a Super Start lawn and garden battery starting at $24.99. Springtime means yard work, so stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for a Super Start lawn and garden battery you can count on. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Could you turn that down a little, please? Hello, my name is Jim Smith, and I'm the owner of Poor Paul's here in Tallahassee. First, I want to thank you all for stopping. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm here on the Capitol steps and why I don't have any clothes on.
Because you're a pervert.
Let me explain. This is being recorded for a Poor Paul's radio commercial, and I think if I record it totally nude, people will pay more attention to my message. Business is great at Poor Paul's, but I still have one small problem.
I'll say you do.
My problem is that in spite of having free Gumby's Pizza and $4.95 pitchers every Sunday and Monday night, free beer and free mixed drinks for our lovely ladies every Tuesday night, and other great money-saving specials every other night of the week, some of you are still going to other bars. Bars whose owners would never bare their souls, so to speak, as I am. So I'm simply asking for your business so Poor Paul's can grow.
I see something else that needs to grow.
This isn't working. Hand me that towel, please.
I have a hanky.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting events? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Gotta be fun. Anybody got any idea what the weather's like in Boston?
I mean, I can certainly look it up. Interested? You
I
getting
am
on a flight?
No, but the Knowles are in Boston, and they're playing in Fenway, which is so cool, man. Imagine being a college baseball player and stepping foot out onto Fenway Park, in Fenway Park, I should say, and playing a college baseball game. That's really, really cool. And you and I have been to Fenway together, actually. And, that park, man, you feel that history. You feel it the second you walk through the doors.
It feels so small, and in a way it kind of is, but it just is intimate as can be everywhere you walk around, and we did the whole 360-degree tour. Looks like it's going to be chilly, but nothing crazy. 50s for highs and upper 30s for lows. So there you go. No rain in the forecast for the weekend.
Yeah, so hopefully for Florida State, it's ALS awareness game, by the way, on Saturday. Chestnut Hill, Fenway Park, great place. Go Noles, keep it rolling. 18 runs against Stetson in the last outing and 7 home runs. Maybe that's the spark. They really have This, I failed to make this point earlier. When I was talking about the lack of momentum for Florida State baseball and the lack of buzz as Coach Martin gets that much closer to the all-time winning record, my frustration centering around that they don't do any one thing real well, that there wasn't something that I could say, well, all right, if they clean this up, they do this really well, they'll be all right. There wasn't any one thing that I thought they did well. But I was also, I think what's different from last year to this year is downright disappointed in their hitting. And that's usually something you can fall back on with Florida State, that they're offensively a good team and their approach and their philosophy. I know they have maddening at-bats because they look at a lot of pitches, and that leads to a lot of backwards Ks. I got you. So there is a kind of a tough, I guess, dichotomy there. But I will say that by and large, in terms of runs and all these things that matter in baseball, they do a good job most years. This wasn't one of those years. So they haven't been a very good offensive team, and I just hope that the 18 runs against Stetson, and I know it's
7
Stetson.
dongs.
Yeah, 7 dongs indeed. I hope that's what gets them going. Let's see that continue. Pound it off the wall, Tom.
That's right, off the
Pound
monster.
it off the wall.
Pound it off that monster.
Yes, do it. Let's do some MLB probable, shall we? Let's go.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Really hate day-night doubleheaders, man. We need to get back to the old-school doubleheader, man.
Well, you can't make more money with a single admission doubleheader.
No, but good God, not everything has to be the love of the dollar, man. It's tradition. Kansas City and Detroit will be playing the second game of a day-night doubleheader coming up in about an hour. Kansas City and Detroit. But you're not old enough, are you? Has it always been day-night doubleheaders in your lifetime?
No, there have been some single admissions, but it's kind of a freak thing that people celebrate when they happen.
Yeah, like early in the process of getting into baseball.
Yeah.
Doubleheaders were still doubleheaders.
I attended a single admission doubleheader in Colorado. It was the Rockies and the Marlins, and this was in the summer of 2005, and the starting pitchers were Dontrelle Willis and Josh Beckett.
Good old Dontrelle Willis, buddy.
Single admission, though.
They used to do this all the time. I used to love when I'd get home from middle school, I'd put on WGN to watch the Cubs, especially because the Pirates played the Cubs so often. And I remember a doubleheader in Wrigley. And, of course, those had to be in the daytime. They didn't have lights. And they would do the noon first pitch, and they would get straight to that second game very quickly after. I mean, they'd do it once over on the field, and we were playing ball. And I had a couch. It was very popular in the early 80s. Those big couches that you put together with 17 pieces that like 9 people could lay on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one of these wraparound type couches.
Oh, hell yeah.
I would sit there and literally with a baseball glove on my hand. How's this for All-American? I'd have a baseball glove on my hand watching a doubleheader at Wrigley Field because, I wanted to feel like I was making catches or being at the ballpark or something. Happen all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I was the same way. I wore a glove
I'd wear
with the
a
Mets
glove
game.
watching the game on TV.
Yeah.
Loved it. And I'd get a tennis ball when I was real young. I'd throw it up and make catches.
There it is.
Oh, good times.
100%.
Jacob Junis is going to go for Kansas City. Daniel Norris goes for the Tigers. We got Indians, Orioles, Trevor Bauer, Dylan Bundy. By the way, if you didn't recognize it, you can now after I tell you the Orioles suck. Have you seen how bad that team is? Damn, they are sorry. Just always seems to end that way for Buck Showalter.
It does.
It just always ends.
Crashes and burns.
Crashes and burns.
And
it's
then
not
back
sustainable.
to studio work he goes.
He does a good job. He's a little, ornery, but he does a good job.
He's kind of smarmy like the sub-captain, the American captain in Red October. Reminds me of that guy.
I think that's true. Yeah. Cleveland will probably pound Baltimore. Big Daddy J's counting on it. I've got Cleveland on the money line against Baltimore. Little Big Daddy J action.
Okay.
Pittsburgh is at Philadelphia. I didn't take kindly to the Philadelphia Phillies roughing up Jamison Taillon. That's not what you do. It doesn't really happen. Matthew, is Philadelphia aware that Taillon had cancer last year? Okay, well, let's act accordingly. Maybe make it up to Ivan Nova this evening. Ivan Nova pitching for the Pirates. Ben Lively goes for the Phillies. Blue Jays, Yankees, Marco Estrada, Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray has not been good. That should be celebrated by all. We want the Yankees and their high-priced roster to struggle as much as possible. They did win 4-3 last night, but not because of Giancarlo Stanton, who continues to disappoint. Minnesota at Tampa Bay. Lance Lynn will go for Minnesota. Chris Archer goes for the Rays. Took the Mets against the Braves, although I'm a little worried about it because the Braves are red hot. But I got to figure if we're going to invest in the pitching philosophy of gambling for Big Daddy J, it's Noah Syndergaard all day long against somebody named Sean Newcomb.
There you go. Yeah.
Right?
I would think so.
I would think.
Syndergaard's having some issues pitching deep into games, though. I have no idea what the hell that was.
Are you scratching?
No, actually, I have Baseball Reference because I was looking at the doubleheader I attended.
They were playing
and
clips
I think
for
they had
you.
an autoplay. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Syndergaard has, you're right, not gone deep into games. Efficiency is his problem.
Yeah.
Not effectiveness. Syndergaard has yet to throw a pitch in the 7th inning this year. He lasted just 5 1/3 his last time out despite 101 pitches. Good Lord, sir.
That's par for the course so far.
0-1 lifetime in 4 starts against the Braves. Never beaten the Braves.
He had a couple of starts in his nervous moments when he was first asserting himself. So hopefully, this is the realized version.
As for Sean Newcomb, has shown sign he's capable of living up to expectations. The left-hander commands his changeup. Enhanced value curveball, they're calling it these days.
Oh, enhanced.
Enhanced value curveball. That's just a way of saying he's got a nice curveball. I love these guys.
It's the spin rate.
Yeah, no, it cracks me up. Well, he has it's not a plus fastball, but he has an enhanced curveball. He's got a good curveball. It's an enhanced curveball. Get the hell out of here. Mariners, Rangers, Felix Hernandez, Mike Minor. Stros, White Sox. White Sox aren't sure who they're throwing. Justin Verlander is going to go for the Stros.
Might I interest you in some male enhancement for your curveball, of course.
Those were the things that Jimmy Johnson endorsed, right? The extends?
Yeah.
Is that right? Isn't that what he did?
Yeah.
That was like a popular ad campaign for a while. It was funny. It was really funny. Yeah. Marlins, Brewers, Trevor Richards, and Mr. Chacin will be throwing for the Brewers. Reds, Cardinals, Brandon Finnegan, Michael Wacha. Also, the Reds are terrible. The Reds just fired their manager. Nobody knew who their manager was. I wonder if Brian Price, who got fired by the Reds, knew he was the manager. Because nobody else did. Nobody in Cincinnati. Nobody.
Well, they keep paying me.
This is ridiculous. How did I get this job? But I will also say this. The manager in baseball is the most overrated gig ever. So when you fire a guy a month into the season, what are you doing? The new guy doesn't have a magic potion. It's Jim Riggleman. Whatever. It's Jim Riggleman. What's he going to do? I know you guys suck. None of you really, aside from Votto, are any good at all. But be better now because I'm the manager. I need you to get better. By the way, here's your starting lineup. Same as it was yesterday when you got Brian fired.
What did you not like about Brian? I'll do the opposite.
Yeah.
And if we win a couple more games, I'm a hero.
I'm a hero and I get paid millions. And I'm really not doing anything different than Brian would have done. He knows what I know. I know what he knows.
Infield's too early? Okay, we push it back an hour. 5 more wins.
Genius. Brandon Finnegan goes for the Reds. Michael Wacha goes for the Cards. Cubs, Rockies, Kyle Hendricks, John Gray. Don't you know John Gray? Isn't there some John Gray story I don't know about?
John Gray.
John Gray? Don't we have a John Gray story? I feel like somehow John Gray came up last year.
It could be.
We'll have to research it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is. Padres, D-backs, Tyson Ross against Matt Koch. We sure it's Matt Koch? Just saying.
Let's go with Koch.
You want to go with Koch?
I wonder if he's like Gary, after he gives up a home run. Well, that's what happens. Well, I don't know.
Red Sox, A's, Drew Pomeranz, Kendall Graveman. Giants, Angels, Jeff Samardzija, Andrew Haney. We got Nationals, Dodgers, the game of the night. If you're up late, by all means, on a Friday night, sit back and enjoy Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw.
Oh, buddy.
Woo,
An all-timer.
Big Daddy J noticed early this morning that you can get the Nats plus a run and a half. And on the money line, there is value. Big Daddy J taking the Nats tonight against Clayton Kershaw on the road.
The baseball bets have begun.
Yes, Big Daddy J.
Keep tabs on it, and if so, perhaps Big Daddy J will have done it again.
I may have done it again. You're getting a run and a half with Scherzer on the hill. I mean, I know Kershaw's Kershaw, but I figure this is a 2-1 game. Want to take the under on that? Maybe interested in the under on that?
I'll stay away.
You're going to stay away?
I'm going to stay away from baseball.
Oh, buddy, come on.
In the regular
season has really begun. Now it's time. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. You guys have a great weekend. Be well. And I'll talk to you on Monday.